Today, at the first high school in Tianhai City, the awakening ceremony is taking place. This is a moment of great fortune for humanity, as after many generations of genetic evolution, the number of awakeners is constantly rising. Now every young person must participate in the awakening ritual once they reach the age of 18. After the ceremony, they will awaken to their unique powers. The students at Tianhai First High are feeling a mix of emotions right now. Some are extremely anxious, terrified that they might awaken and fail. Others are filled with anticipation. In the crowd, one male student stands perfectly calm, his face cold as ice, thinking to himself, "Father, I've finally waited. And for the day of this awakening ceremony. Today, I will definitely awaken a super powerful ability that will shock everyone. That teenager is Lin Tu, a student in Class 3, Year 1 of this school. It is almost his turn. Right before Lin Tu was a teenager named Zhao Wu, who was just worrying about failing his awakening. And yet he just obtained a grade A ability called Crimson Flame, belonging to the Taiyi system. As soon as Zhao Wu awakened his grade A talent, he was immediately swarmed by teachers from various universities looking to recruit him. So, the awakening ceremony really is the only chance to defy fate through one's own power. Lin Tu couldn't help but glance at Zhao Wu a few more times. The teacher then reminded him that it was his turn. Lin Tu quickly stated his name, class, and student ID. As soon as he spoke, the students below all began to whisper, "Oh my God, is he the son of that legendary traitor? I heard his father had a lightning ability. He surely won't inherit that." Will he? So what if his father had a lightning ability? In the end, he's still a traitor's son. Even though Lin Tu had heard these words many times, his mood, it was still hard to keep from boiling over. That's right, he was the traitor's son they were talking about. 7 years ago, Lin Tu was the son of a hero. Surrounded by people. Later, when the Julong monster and Pangu ambushed Tianhai City, they claimed his father was a coward who refused to fight, and ran away, leaving the city to be devastated by the monsters, causing heavy casualties among the people. Since then, Lin Tu became the traitor's son, shunned by everyone, so he still chose to study here because he carries half of his father's bloodline and hoped he could receive a powerful ability during the awakening process. The instructor told Lin Tu to step forward and place his left hand on the induction device, but when the results appeared, whether it was the grade of the ability or his cultivation level, Lin Tu's screen only showed 2 dashes. He immediately became frantic. "Sir, what does this display mean?" The teacher showed a look of embarrassment, but eventually had to tell him the truth. That result means the test showed no ability awakened at all. This news left Lin Tu frozen on the spot, and he quickly became the laughingstock of the other students. Look at his face. He must have thought he'd reach the heavens in one step during the awakening ceremony, right? What a daydreamer. I never expected him to not inherit even a shred of his father's talent. Who said he didn't inherit anything, isn't it? Dragons beget dragons, phoenixes beget phoenixes, and for a traitor, it's just a waste of space. The person who said this was none other than Zhao Wu, who had just awakened his grade A power. Lin Tu heard this and snapped his head around, staring fiercely at him. Zhao Wu had just awakened Crimson Flame, so even though he felt a bit guilty under that glare, he remained incredibly aggressive. "What's the matter? Can't take being called a loser?" "It's not about taking it," Lin Tu replied calmly. "But I have to tell you one thing, my father is not a coward, much less a traitor." With them making such a scene, the instructor couldn't stand it any longer and scolded Zhao Wu, threatening him that if he caused trouble in the exam room right after awakening his power, his eligibility would be revoked. Zhao Wu fell silent immediately. Turning back to Lin Tu, the teacher continued, "We don't have any other classes today. Students who didn't pass the awakening ceremony can head home now." This was nothing short of a polite dismissal. And so, under the mocking stares of his classmates, Lin Tu had no choice but to head back, dejected. The sad part was that the students who awakened after him all succeeded. However, instead of going home, Lin Tu went to his classroom where he had become the target of his classmates' bullying. The board was covered in insults directed at him. His desk, they had been trashed, and his books were being trampled by someone. Seeing this, Lin Tu trembled with rage. "Father, I'm sorry," he muttered to himself. Seeing him arrive, Chen Hu, the one writing on the board, who was also the young master of the general's estate guarding Tianhai City, said loudly, "Hey, look! Isn't this our young master Lin coming back empty-handed from the awakening ceremony today?" Lin Tu stared at Chen Hu, or more accurately at the medal he was wearing on his chest. That was his father's hero medal, the one he had always kept safe in his bag. Lin Tu went insane and lunged at him, cursing angrily, "Are you even worthy of wearing that? Take it off right now? Oh, young Master Lin, if you had inherited the lightning ability of that cowardly father of yours, maybe I'd be afraid of you." His face was full of blatant provocation. Then Chen Hu grabbed Lin Tu's wrist with one hand. "Too bad you didn't." As he spoke, he shoved him aside with force. Lin Tu, already frailer than the other, and having not awakened any power, was hit by this move. Hit from Chen Hu and sent sprawling to the floor. He kicked him again, slamming Lin Tu's face into the board filled with insults. "You didn't awaken any— Didn't awaken ability at all. You're just a traitor who birthed a loser." Chen Hu's look of schadenfreude was truly malicious, and the other students watching this scene joined in kicking him while he was down. "In my opinion, the son should pay for the father's sins. They should just throw him in jail. How is he even allowed to keep studying at our school? He didn't awaken any power at all. What a disgrace to our school." Lin Tu, both beaten and insulted, was trembling with pure rage. He shakily pushed himself off the floor and turned back to confront Chen Hu. "Chen Hu, my father and your father were at least comrades once. Why do you have to be like this?" Chen Hu, upon hearing this, rushed over and grabbed Lin Tu's hair roughly. "Don't ever compare my father to yours. My father is a general who protects Tianhai City, while your father is the city's traitor." At this point, he suddenly noticed the necklace Lin Tu was wearing around his neck. "Oh, if I remember correctly, this is the thing that useless father of yours left behind for you, right, since you're shameless enough to keep wearing it?" "Then don't blame me if I crush it," he snapped, snatching the necklace away. Lin Tu panicked and lunged to get it back, but after awakening his powers, Chen Hu's strength was immense. Lin Tu couldn't even budge the necklace from his grip. Chen Hu looked down at him with an even more contemptuous gaze. "Still acting tough even when you're this pathetic. You're embarrassing yourself. Oh, right. I forgot to tell you I awakened super strength today. It's an A-rank ability. Crushing that pendant is nothing more than a joke to me." That was the last gift his father left him before he disappeared. He had always worn it, treasuring it above all else. Seeing Chen Hu about to crush it, Lin Tu could only glare, helpless to do anything. Where did that tough attitude go, huh, if you want to keep something left behind by such a useless father? And then get on your knees and beg for mercy, young Master Lin Kie. Chen Hu was clearly trying to humiliate him in front of everyone. As he said that, he applied more pressure. "What if I said I'm just a stubborn dead duck?" Lin Tu retorted. Ignoring the danger, he threw himself at Chen Hu and roared, "So I'm just a stubborn mouth, is that it? So what?" Before the words even left his mouth, Lin Tu bit down hard on Chen Hu's hand. Chen Hu never expected such a move. He was acting just like a rabid dog. In his pain, Chen Hu loosened his grip and the necklace dropped. Lin Tu risked everything, lunging to catch it. The moment he grabbed it, Chen Hu grabbed him by the collar and hauled him back. "Damn you, you little mongrel, hand it over!" Lin Tu was terrified that if it fell into Chen Hu's hands again, he'd never get it back. In a moment of desperation, he thought of a move no one could have predicted. He swallowed the pendant whole. Chen Hu was left stunned, unable to react. After swallowing it, Lin Tu let out a defiant laugh. "What now? Not only can I bite, but I can swallow things too." Chen Hu was furious and shoved him away with all his might. His body slammed into the wall, agonizingly painful, but Lin Tu stubbornly stood back up. "Back then you all sucked up to me only because I was Lin Longzhen's son. Now you're just jealous and bitter because I'm his son, trying every way to humiliate me. You're right, I'm a loser who couldn't awaken any powers, but even as a loser, I won't give up. One day I will prove to you all that my father is no coward. He did not run away from the battlefield." Lin Tu said, his eyes filled with intense rage and helplessness, as he Shiki Irain Amase finished speaking. A massive bolt of lightning roared outside. An anomaly appeared in the sky, and at that exact moment a strange sensation washed over Lin Tu's body. Suddenly a voice echoed, audible only to him, Host's blood successfully verified, initiating gene binding. Welcome to the Beast Overlord system. He stared at the game-like status window floating before him, confused by the cryptic notification. Lin Tu was both shocked and terrified, replaying everything that had just happened, the necklace he always wore, Chen Hu trying to crush it, and him swallowing it. Could it be that the jerk actually helped him activate the pendant his father left behind by mistake? The status window flickered again, displaying a new notification. Lin Tu could choose one bonded beast as an initial reward. A bonded beast. What on earth was that? Lin Tu didn't fully understand, but he reached out and hit confirm. Immediately, several options appeared before him. The first was the King of Beasts Kui Dragon. According to the Classic of Mountains and Seas, it is an ancient beast from Mount Liubo in the East Sea, possessing traits of both land and sea. Its mouth emits light as dazzling as the sun and moon, and its roar is like thunder capable of piercing through anything. It truly lives up to the title of King of Beasts. The second option was the tyrant beast Jin Tian. The Classic of Mountains and Seas mentions it as an ancient beast that slept in the west for 200 million years before descending to Earth. After a fierce battle with the Kui dragon, it vanished, without a trace. Its form wings spread wide as it flew, scorching like the sun is still legendary today. The third was the queen beast Qiao Chong. Ancient texts say, it is an ancient beast that laid in ambush at Mount Pingfeng. It appears as a primordial winged creature of immense size. In legends, it is the guardian deity, and the sanctuary for all creatures in nature possessing powerful support skills. Finally, the star-breaking ape Aowan, recorded in the Book of Divine Wonders, is also an ancient beast occupying an island in the West Wilderness. Legend says it has an arm thick and incredibly powerful, holding destructive strength, and so immense it can even shatter stars. Lin Tu was stunned to see such legendary ancient beasts laid out before him. Could it be that, if he chose one, the system would automatically create it for him? Even though he only thought it, the system sensed his curiosity and immediately sent a notification. That is correct. However, these ancient beasts begin in their infantile form. They require the host's patient cultivation to mature into their complete bodies. Lin Tu was momentarily dazed by this unexpected windfall. The system actually gave an ancient beast as a starting reward. That is incredibly generous. That year, the Jew dragon that wreaked havoc on Tianhai City was also an ancient beast. If he owned one too, wouldn't he be invincible? Lin Tu was still basking in his joy when he saw a countdown clock appear. The system reminded him to make his choice quickly. If the time ran out, without an answer, the system would consider his right to this reward forfeited. The 1-minute countdown had begun. Lin Tu became anxious, but with these 4 choices, he had no idea what to pick. If this were a test, he'd just guess C, but looking at that Qiao Chong, he just didn't feel it suited him. But as he glanced at the image of the Kui dragon, Lin Tu saw its mouth spitting out lightning just like the phenomenon. That was your father's legacy. In that moment, Lam Tu made a firm resolution who said he couldn't inherit his father's power. Now the opportunity had finally arrived. Just like that, the Nether Dragon became Lam Tu's life-bound beast. Once the system confirmed his choice, the image of the Nether Dragon and the other 3 beasts vanished. Suddenly, a torrent of water surged out from the status window, rapidly flooding the surrounding space. It engulfed everything, including Lam Tu, who was instantly plunged into the deep ocean floor. Strangely, he could still breathe normally. Not long after, Lam Tu suddenly caught sight of a pair of massive emerald green eyes within the water. Those foolish humans! The Blue Star System still hasn't been around for 10,000 years, yet they dare to act as masters of the world. When the true Lord descends, this entire world will tremble beneath the feet of this ancient beast. Lam Tu heard that vague voice echoing in the water. The owner of those green eyes was the Nether Dragon. Although he didn't understand what it was saying, he could feel an incredibly terrifying sense of oppression. Then an underwater current suddenly grabbed Lam Tu and propelled him straight toward the surface. Lam Tu was flung high into the air, and as he fell back down, he landed squarely on a soft, fleshy platform. It turned out to be the flesh of the nether dragon his life-bound beast had manifested. Lam 2 was still overwhelmed by its immense size and ferocity, when in the blink of an eye the dragon's body dissolved, leaving nothing beneath his feet. Lam 2 scrambled and fell. This time, he truly woke up in reality. Standing before Lam 2 was not a nether dragon or the deep sea, but Tran Ho's gang looking at him like wild beasts stalking prey. This made Lam 2 wonder, was all of that just a dream? However, the status window quickly appeared to dispel that thought. Congratulations to the host for successfully completing the initial binding and obtaining the life-bound beast, Nether Dragon. Lam 2 was stunned. He had actually unlocked the system. From the notification, he learned his reward was a dragon egg, stored in the Lord Beast space. In such a dire situation, why would the system only give him an egg? Clearly, it had promised him an ancient, unrivaled beast just a moment ago. Host, please hatch your life-bound beast egg as soon as possible. The system sent one last notification before vanishing. Lam 2 jumped up and couldn't help but shout, "Hey! Don't just leave. At least tell me how to make this egg hatch." In the eyes of Tran Ho's gang, his actions were nothing short of the behavior of a madman. Lam 2, what kind of crazy nonsense are you spouting? Do you think just because you swallowed that necklace, we can't do anything to you? A henchman stepped forward. Then he ordered the others to rush in and strip Lam 2's pants off. As soon as Tran Ho gave the order, 2 henchmen charged forward, grabbing Lam 2's arms on either side. He didn't expect him to pull such a despicable move. "Tran Ho, what are you doing?" Lam 2 shouted anxiously. Tran Ho, at this moment, rushed forward and brazenly pulled down Lam 2's trousers. His face was full of vile triumph. "Lam 2, even if you swallowed the necklace, I can still make you spit it out from behind." Lam 2 was so ashamed he was furious, his cheeks burning red. This guy Tran Ho had really gone mad to go to such shameful lengths. How could he still call himself a human? He couldn't tell them that as soon as the necklace hit his stomach, it had been crushed and transformed into the system. Furthermore, it had turned into an egg waiting for him to hatch it. Fortunately, just then, a beautiful girl came to his rescue. "Stop!" she shouted, cutting through the thug's actions. "Your conduct is a serious violation of school regulations. In the name of the student council, I order you to release that student immediately. And hand over your student ID cards to face disciplinary action." Seeing someone speak up for him, Lam 2 was naturally grateful. But when he saw that the person was just a delicate girl, he sighed to himself. What could just one girl do against Tran Ho's gang? Sure enough, Tran Ho released him and walked toward the girl, his tone and expression dripping with contempt. "The student council, who cares? This doesn't concern you. Turn around and get lost now." Who would have thought the girl would be so firm and unyielding? She pointed to her red armband and replied, "Doesn't concern me. I'm currently on patrol. Your actions have violated Article 8, Section 9, Chapter 2, Article 13, Chapter 3, and countless other school regulations." Before she could finish, Tran Ho lunged forward, snatching the pen from her hand. His smile grew even more arrogant. "I'll give you a bit of respect. Get lost. If I didn't respect you, I wouldn't let you walk out of this classroom." As he spoke, he twirled the pen in his fingers. Suddenly, the pen began to glow, flew out of his hand, and pointed straight at his throat. "It's just the handle. What are you doing?" Tran Ho was caught off guard, but still didn't know the meaning of fear. If it had been the nib pointing at his throat, he might have felt a bit of fear. "This is just a warning. Don't interfere with the student council carrying out their duty." The girl replied firmly. Lam 2 was surprised. He hadn't expected someone who looked so fragile, and to be able to manipulate stationery like that. Tran Ho, however, wasn't scared. In fact, he became even more interested. "Oh, an awakener, are you? But you can't scare me. My people here are all awakeners, too. Plus my ability is A-rank super strength." As he spoke, he used some force and snapped the pen in his hand. "So what?" The girl replied, "So I advise you to stop being a busybody. Don't throw your life away for a pathetic loser." As he said this, several other henchmen surrounded the girl. Lam 2 felt Tran Ho was truly too despicable to bring a whole gang of awakeners just to bully a girl. But as soon as he opened his mouth to voice his thoughts, he got punched. "Damn it, stop flapping your jaw. I'm beating up a powerless loser like you, and you think you have the right to talk. Aren't you the one who brought a bunch of awakeners here?" Lam Tu was punched until he was dizzy and seeing stars. Unable to say another word, Tran Ho decided to deal with the girl. Seeing them cornering this girl, Lam Tu felt Tran Ho was truly pathetic. To think he'd actually bring a whole group of awakened along just to bully a schoolgirl. But as soon as he spoke his mind, he got punched in the face. "Shut your mouth! Stop wasting your breath! Move for me to beat up a loser like you who hasn't even awakened. Isn't it only right that I bring a bunch of awakened with me?" Lam Tu was left dazed and dizzy from the punch, completely silenced by Tran Ho's shouting. He couldn't say another word, and Tran Ho decided to deal with the girl. Either step aside or face them in a fight. Of course, if he chose the latter, he didn't believe she could beat them. Seeing him open his mouth, shut it. Whenever the term awakened is mentioned, you should ask yourself if you even know what it truly means. Being an awakened is humanity's last hope. To resist the beasts in this era, not a label for you to flaunt around and bully others with. Lin Tu didn't expect this girl to be so fierce. Watching her posture and hearing those words, it was clear she had agreed to fight. In this situation, facing so many enemies, a thought suddenly crossed Lin Tu's mind. Was this the same feeling his father experienced when facing beasts in the secret realm while he was lost in thought? The girl suddenly snapped her fingers. A broom from the corner of the classroom flew over and jammed directly into the back of Lin Tu's jacket, then lifted him right up to the ceiling, the two goons holding his arms. Couldn't hold on anymore and were thrown aside. Lin Tu, terrified, yelled, "Hey, are you confused or something? Why are you targeting me?" Immediately after, the broom handle slammed into the wall, leaving Lin Tu hanging there. "Sorry, classmate. Please just hang there for a moment. It's a bit dangerous down here." So she meant to hang Lin Tu up just to get him out of the way so she could deal with the rest. Tran Ho, seeing her act so casually, felt insulted and immediately ordered his henchmen to attack. They were ganging up on her, and since the opponent was just a girl, it was clear they had no honor. So on the girl's side, there was no need to hold back either. "Looks like someone needs to teach you so-called awakened, who look down on others, a lesson." No sooner had she spoken than countless objects in the room came flying toward them. Only then did those idiots realize her ability-free manipulation of metal. Whether it was pens, rulers, compasses, or forks, everything in the room was being controlled by her. Let me tell you the true meaning of being an awakened. Beside the pile of supplies surrounding her, Tran Ho was also being surrounded by similar items, except that all the sharp ends were pointed directly at him. "Don't move or you'll get hurt." The girl issued the warning, which was really a threat. Seeing her handle Tran Ho in the blink of an eye, Lin Tu felt incredibly surprised and wondered who on earth she was. And that guy Treo Vo finally recognized the girl. No wonder he felt she looked familiar. Wasn't she? Tu Lin Ngok, the student council president? The genius girl who participated in the awakening ritual at only 14 and unlocked an A-rank ability in the Taiyi system. Hearing the name Tu Lin Ngok, Tran Ho's complexion turned ghastly. He thought to himself, "I just wanted to take advantage of the situation to bully that little brat. Why did I have to provoke this terrifying girl? If I exert just a little more force, I could tear you into hundreds of pieces. If you want to live, surrender immediately." On the other side, Lin Ngok threatened him. Lin Ngok was only 17, a year younger than Tran Ho's group, but her ability level had reached the early stage of the Spirit Aperture realm, one level higher than theirs. The lowest level is Blood Condensation, followed by Spirit Aperture, Divine Palace Void Reversion, and the highest is Sainthood. Lin Ngok, reaching Spirit Aperture just 3 years after awakening, was truly talented. Standing before her threat, Tran Ho was scared but unwilling to give in. He didn't believe Lin Ngok dared to take his life. He even brought up the prestige of his father, Tran Bao Luong, to intimidate her. Unexpectedly, as soon as he finished, Lin Ngok manipulated a razor-sharp metal ruler and sliced across Tran Ho's neck. Although the cut wasn't deep, it still made him bleed and scared the life out of him. "It's bleeding, help me," he shrieked. "I advise you to drop the pathetic act," Lin Ngok continued. "An awakened's power is extremely dangerous. It can backfire and you could even lose your life. Moreover, you were the one who issued the challenge. Even if I went too far and took your life, General Tran would not have any reason to hold me accountable." Lin Ngok's stern words truly terrified Tran Ho, making him stop resisting. He screamed for mercy and surrendered. Only then did Lin Ngok let go. The sharp objects fell to the ground. Do you understand what an awakened is now? Lin Ngok stepped lightly onto the floor and approached Tran Ho. She said she hoped that after today's lesson, they would understand what the term awakened truly means. If they kept this mindset of looking down on others, sooner or later they would lose their lives. After that, Lin Ngok used her ability to retrieve the honorary medal Tran Ho was wearing on his chest. She said it wasn't something someone like him should be randomly pinning on himself, then using as a badge to show off. Tran Ho was defeated and humiliated but couldn't do a thing. If you've surrendered, hand over the student record book and get out. Don't forget to go to the office to accept your punishment later. Lin Ngok's gaze was so piercing as if she could finish Tran Ho off at any moment. He and his goons were scared out of their wits and fled and stumbling as they ran. You brat, just you wait! Tran Ho threw a threat at Lin Tu before vanishing. Now only Lin Tu and Lin Ngok were left in the classroom. Lin Tu couldn't help but stare at the girl who was a year younger than him. She had cleaned up the whole place in less than 3 minutes. Although he hated Tran Ho seeing him in such a miserable state, Lin Tu did not feel happy. Because he had experienced it himself and knew how powerful his great strength ability was. Yet Lin Ngok had suppressed him so easily. Even though she was only 1 level above Tran Ho, the gap in power was massive. He wanted to uncover the mystery of his father's disappearance and prove that he wasn't a coward who ran away. But thinking that he would have to face many awakened ones like Lin Ngok or even stronger on that path, how could Lin Tu be happy? He wondered if there was any way he could handle them. Lin Ngok walked toward Lin Tu and asked, "Are you Lin Tu?" "So what if I am?" Lin Tu replied, his voice tense, fearing Lin Ngok might want to settle the score with him too. But she didn't do anything. She just pulled the broom handle out of the wall. Lin Tu landed on his butt, yelping in pain. Lin Ngok looked at him, seeing Lam Tu, who was only wearing a pair of tacky floral boxers, couldn't help but feel embarrassed, and immediately turned his head away. "Don't bring anything unrelated to your studies to school ever again," Su Lingyu said coldly. She tossed the Medal of Honor belonging to Lam Tu's father back to him and walked away. "Thank you for helping me get this back," Lam Tu hurriedly called out after her. As she reached the classroom door, Su Lingyu couldn't hold back and added one more thing. "The school has arranged for you all to go home this afternoon. Honestly, it's for your own good. Awakening creates a gap in strength between people. Therefore, those who have not yet awakened should learn as soon as possible to avoid getting involved with those who have, or your life might be in danger." Su Lingyu's words were harsh, but they were undeniably true. Lam Tu, as he is now, truly cannot keep up with those who have awakened their superpowers through normal means. But didn't you use the pendant your father left behind to awaken the system already? Lam Tu thought to himself, "If I cannot become an awakener to face the beasts head-on, then I will become an overlord beast to confront the awakeners directly." Because of bullying, a classmate, Tran Ho and his gang were punished with cleaning the classroom, the very classroom they had trashed themselves. But now that they had to clean it, they were fuming. "Boss, why? Hey, do we have to stay at school to sweep the classroom? Shouldn't these chores just be left to that useless brat Lam Tu? That's right. At 9 o'clock, I still have to go to extra classes." Tran Ho's lackeys grumbled while cleaning. Tran Ho himself was burying his head in the scrubbing. The more the others complained, the angrier Tran Ho became. Finally, he couldn't take it anymore and shouted, "If I told you to do it, just do it. Stop running your mouths." Although he hated to admit it, the truth was that Tran Ho didn't dare cross. To Ling Yu, after being taught a lesson, he'd never forget. He didn't dare provoke her again, so they had to grit their teeth and clean until late at night. Meanwhile, at Lam Tu's house, he was buried in books. Lam Tu had been researching since the afternoon, but he hadn't made any progress. Information regarding primordial beasts was pitifully scarce, but it was hard to blame anyone. After all, the only primordial beast left in this world was that bamboo dragon. That was all. But back then he had truly felt the immense unparalleled power that the Kui dragon possessed, so he had to find a way to hatch the Kui dragon's egg. Just as Lam Tu was at his wit's end, the system appeared before him with a notification, "System Quest 1. Quickly hatch your bonded beast. Egg." The system reward was the ability to tame it. Seeing the status window, Lamb 2 went crazy with joy. "Oh, system, where have you been all afternoon?" He was so excited. He wanted to lunge forward and hug the status window. However, it wasn't a physical entity, so Lam 2 could only helplessly pass right through it. The system explained that it operates based on the energy of the bonded beast. Because the Kui dragon was currently in its incubation period, the system could only function under low energy consumption mode, and only open during critical situations. It also reminded Lam 2 to quickly hatch the egg so the bonded beast would emerge. Hearing the system say it only appeared in critical situations, he felt a bit hurt. This afternoon, Lam 2 was almost humiliated by Tranho's gang, yet the system didn't appear. Wasn't that a critical situation? "But system, I've checked so many documents and simply couldn't find the method to hatch a primordial beast egg," Lam 2 lamented. "This is very normal. From the time humans evolved from ancient apes until now, it's only been 5 million years. Even the weakest primordial beast has a lifespan counted in the hundreds of millions of years, and the incubation period is at least 5 to 6 million years." Faced with the information the system just provided, Lam 2 was stunned, his jaw dropping. Just hatching. It takes 5 to 6 million years. Isn't this just messing with me? Why would you even want me to hatch it then? Calm down, the system spoke again. Based on natural hatching methods, that is indeed true. But since I am called the Overlord Beast System, naturally, I have a way to hatch it quickly. The method it mentioned was using a beast spirit core. Beasts are formed from the condensation of spirit energy. By absorbing energy to survive and grow, they consolidate the absorbed spirit energy into a core inside their bodies roughly the size of a human fist. The reason primordial beasts grow and develop so slowly is because the spirit energy on the Earth's surface is too thin. Therefore, just by using the spirit energy stored in the core as a supplement, you can accelerate the hatching process. It sounded promising. But Lam 2 let out another long sigh. Where on earth was he supposed to find a beast spirit core right now? At this moment, the system revealed an even more shocking piece of news. It had detected the presence of a beast spirit core in Lam 2's house. Hearing this, he was extremely excited. "Really? You're not mistaken, are you? Could it be that Mom was hiding such a treasure from me?" On the system window, an image of his father's Medal of Honor appeared. It stated that upon scanning, it discovered that this item was created using a beast spirit core worth millions. The spirit energy contained within it was enough to help the primordial beast finish hatching. Lam 2's eyes widened upon hearing this. He recalled the days after his father left, when he started being ostracized and called the son of a traitor. Those were very difficult days. But since his father's incident, Lam 2 had always kept his hero's medal with him, swearing that one day he would clear his father's name. He had imagined that the medal was so valuable. If Su Lingyu hadn't helped him out this afternoon, it would have definitely been destroyed by Tranho. He right now couldn't even protect his father's honor, let alone protect this medal. This drove Lam 2 to want to become stronger quickly. He anxiously asked the system. The system said how to accelerate the hatching process. Currently, the host's Overlord Beast space cannot store beasts yet, so it is necessary to materialize the Kui dragon egg first. After saying that, a laser pointer fell from the status window. Then it used the pointer to draw the shape of an egg on the wall and excitedly said to Lam 2, "It's a success. Now the host can directly place the beast spirit core inside the Kui dragon's egg." Lam 2 looked at the wobbly drawing on the wall, not knowing if the system was being serious or not. This painting it was as beautiful as the painting he drew when he was 7, but urged by the system, Lam 2 brought the metal close to the drawing. The result was that the metal was truly sucked right in and vanished without a trace. Immediately after, a loud noise erupted from the wall. It began to crack, the tremors growing more intense until it actually knocked Lam 2 face first onto the ground, causing him excruciating pain. After his sharp cry, the entire wall collapsed. But the important thing was behind that wall. The door and the lights. There really appeared a mini-sized demon dragon. Lam 2 was so tense that his breathing became erratic. Is this truly the legendary Pangu beast? The system also seemed excited, immediately displaying the demon dragon's stats for him to check. It is currently in its infancy stage and capable of evolution. Its bloodline is at the Overlord level and it can level up. Its attack methods include ramming, biting, and a divine dragon tail whip. It only has one initial skill, Devour. It's just that right now this monster is only 69 centimeters tall, compared to the demon dragon Lamb 2 met in the deep sea before. The difference is like heaven and earth. System, the gap between what you advertised and what I actually got is way too big, Lamb 2 shouted. The system didn't bother to reply, instead immediately changing the subject. Congratulations to the host for successfully completing Task 1 of the system. Task rewards have been issued. Host, please check them in time. Lamb 2 knew it was dodging the issue, but he tapped to check anyway. His reward was the taming skill. It allowed him to turn a monster into his own property just by touching it. Whoa, I can make a monster my own with such a god-tier skill. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Lamb 2's eyes lit up. Because this skill requires the level of the target being tamed to not be higher than the host's bond beast, the system replied. Lamb 2's excitement instantly vanished. He knew this damn system wouldn't give him something so good for free. First, you make me hatch a Pangu beast egg in a moment of crisis, and now the skill for it requires a level not higher than itself. Isn't that little demon dragon already at the lowest level possible? What else could be lower than that? Lamb 2 sighed repeatedly. The demon dragon then crawled over, grabbed his pant leg, and pulled hard. Then it ran around Lamb 2 a few times, dragging him to its pile of eggshells, and let out a very gentle call. Seeing it gesture like that, Lamb 2 realized it wanted to eat its own eggshells. He remembered reading in a book that climbing animals have a habit of eating their own shells to supplement calcium. He then told the demon dragon, "All right, you can eat it." Given permission by its master, the demon dragon began to devour the shells. Lamb 2 leaned down to pat its head, but his eyes were filled with worry. He felt this monster was so tiny there was absolutely no sense of relying on it. Don't tell me later that damn system is going to say it needs another 5 million years to raise it into an adult demon dragon, right? Just as Lamb 2 said this, the demon dragon suddenly choked its face, turning purple. He was speechless, rushing to pat its back. After all, this was a monster he had to trade his father's honorary medal for. It couldn't afford to have any mishaps. Afterward, Lamb 2 received a series of notifications stating that the demon dragon had successfully devoured the shells and gained evolution points. The notifications popped up so rapidly that Lamb 2 thought the system had caught a virus. Unexpectedly, the demon dragon suddenly emitted a dazzling glow. Congratulations to the host, your demon dragon! It has consumed 200 evolution points and completed its transition to the adult stage. After the light faded, the demon dragon grew many times larger. Its butt slammed directly onto Lamb 2, nearly suffocating him. By now, it was almost twice as tall, and its weight had multiplied. Hey, system, what the hell is going on? Why did it suddenly grow so big? Lamb 2 asked anxiously. The system explained that this was the effect of the demon dragon's initial skill, Devour. By absorbing food, the demon dragon converts it into evolution points used for its growth process. Lamb 2 hadn't thought it could also rely on devouring to grow faster. Should he be happy that he chose this monster from the start? Actually, that wasn't the most urgent problem right now. Something else was. You creature, can you move your butt? My back is damn near broken from you sitting on me, Lamb 2 cried out pitifully. Just then, the front door lock clicked. Lamb 2 went pale immediately. His mom was home. He hadn't seen her yet, but he heard her voice. Lamb 2, my boy, what's wrong? I heard from your teacher that you got into a fight with a classmate at school. As she finished speaking, she entered the room and saw the chaotic scene. Lamb 2's mom saw the demon dragon and fell backward, screaming at the top of her lungs. He hurriedly explained to her that this was his bond beast, which was now tethered to him, then forced the demon dragon to greet his mother. But that foolish demon dragon approached with a somewhat terrifying look, causing Lamb 2's mother to faint from pure fear. Seeing the situation was bad, he pleaded with the system. System, can you put this thing into the Great Overlord monster space or not? Haven't I told you already the Great Overlord monster space of the host is not yet able to store monsters? Out of options, Lamb 2 had to push the demon dragon toward the window. He had to get it out of here for now and explain things to his mom later. It was just that with the oversized build of this dragon, crawling out the window wasn't going to be easy. While being pushed by Lamb 2, who knows what the demon dragon was thinking, all anyone knew was that it suddenly acted aggressively and smashed the window frame to pieces. Damn it, what are you doing? Lamb 2 screamed. He was completely helpless now because the sound was so loud that even the alarm went off. The neighbors rushed over to see what was happening. Lamb 2 scrambled to shove the demon dragon through the hole it had just smashed. Then he grabbed the curtains, wrapped them around himself, and turned toward his mother, shouting, "Mom, I'm sorry. When I get back, I'll explain everything slowly." His mother, by then, was being helped up by the neighbors. Having just regained her senses, she saw her son standing next to the shattered window frame wrapped in curtains like a superhero, looking as if he were about to jump out. "Lamb 2, you rascal, what are you trying to do now?" she roared. But by that time, after taking off with the ghost dragon and landing safely, Lin 2 could see his mother standing by the wrecked window screaming at the top of her lungs as expected. His mother, who had just fainted, had already recovered that quickly. But seeing her in that state, Lin 2 felt it was best to wait until she calmed down before heading back. He shooed away some mosquitoes and turned to his ghost dragon. "Not sure if it could understand him," Lin 2 asked. "That system said you can keep leveling up by devouring things, right?" "That's right, the ghost dragon can devour things to absorb spiritual energy, convert it into evolution points, and continue growing." A system window suddenly popped up right in front of him, making Lin 2 jump. He cursed under his breath. "Damn it, why are you popping up so aggressively now?" "Isn't it powered by the ghost dragon's energy?" "The dragon has already broken out of its shell and is growing, so it's only natural for the system to appear more often. Currently, the host cannot communicate fluently with your companion beast, that is true, but please rest assured the ghost dragon will continue to evolve and grow quickly, and it will be able to understand your intentions." The system sent another notification. Lin 2 knew it didn't show up just to offer useless comfort. Sure enough, the system's true purpose was to recommend a crucial item called the Beast Radar. Lin 2 stared at the notification for a moment and sneered. He had completely lost faith in this system. Having a companion beast was one thing, but making him hatch an egg and raise a hatchling and now asking him to use a beast radar. Who knows what it's up to next? The system, feeling his suspicion, tried desperately to explain. It claimed that as long as Lin 2 kept this radar with him, anything, be it human or object, that emitted spiritual energy would be detected immediately. In short, the beast radar could help him scan for the reaction and concentration of all spiritual energy nearby, making it easier for the ghost dragon to devour. Lin 2 listened and realized this was actually quite useful. He opened the radar interface to test it. In the center of the map was the largest light spot, the ghost dragon. Behind it were several spots scattered about. They were likely the eggshells left behind at his house that it hadn't finished eating. "Correct," the system confirmed Lin 2's guess. The brightness and size of the red dots on the screen represented the strength of the target containing spiritual energy. As the system said this, Lin 2's eyes lit up because he spotted a very large dot on the screen, much bigger than those eggshells, even larger than the ghost dragon itself. If it could devour this spiritual energy. "Oh, wouldn't it grow like crazy?" Lin 2 briefly explained to the ghost dragon, making it understand that following him now meant eating until it was full. Kids really are easy to teach. The ghost dragon was extremely excited when it understood. Lin 2 felt a bit of disdain looking at its gluttonous behavior, but being gluttonous plus having the devouring skill meant he'd really hit the jackpot. Lin 2 wrapped the ghost dragon in a curtain, hoping no one would notice it. With preparations complete, the boy and the dragon set off toward the red dot on the screen. The ghost dragon was as fast as the wind. As Lin 2 rode on its back, he felt smug, thinking he was a genius for coming up with the curtain disguise. Little did he know the beast had already left 2 trails of heavy footprints on the road. Following the screen, the two arrived in front of a large building. But no matter how Lin 2 looked at it, it didn't seem like a place where a monster would appear. Plus, the security from the building was very strict. Lin 2 had to tuck the ghost dragon into a corner and whispered to ask if it had a way to get them inside. He was only half joking, but to his surprise, the monster suddenly lunged forward. Lin 2 panicked and begged it not to do anything reckless. But the ghost dragon then built up momentum and charged straight up, nearly throwing him off its back. Lin 2 quickly hugged its neck to prevent himself from screaming in terror. The ghost dragon was climbing the wall step by step. No wonder it was an earthquake-proof building constructed after the bamboo dragon incident. It barely shook despite the ghost dragon pounding against the wall. Finally, the man and the dragon stopped at a room's balcony. Lin Tu was extremely skeptical because, according to the map, this was where the spiritual energy was, but no matter how, he looked, it just seemed like a normal girl's room. Furthermore, upon seeing the underwear hanging on the balcony, Lin Tu felt incredibly awkward. He even imagined himself in the headlines tomorrow for breaking and entering. "System, what on earth are you up to? Why did you bring me here?" While Lin Tu hesitated, wondering whether to go in, the ghost dragon already caught the scent of spiritual energy and rushed straight into a room. Lin Tu panicked and chased after it. "Hey, you can't just barge into people's houses like that." Unfortunately, it was impossible to reason with it now. While chasing, he tripped and face-planted on the floor. But after falling, Lin Tu saw something, an elite association medal. Most of the spiritual energy on Earth was concentrated in places called otherworldly dimensions, or secret realms. Moistened by the spiritual energy within these realms, precious materials and ferocious monsters were born. These are rare places for awakeners to explore and cultivate. Even so, the secret realms in countries around the world are strictly managed, even for an awakener. One needs to pass through multiple levels of testing and screening to earn the qualification to enter. The Elite Association Medal is the access pass to the secret realm issued by the Xia Kingdom. Furthermore, Lin Tu had heard that this medal allows the awakener who possesses it to design it themselves, so each person has a unique one. He found the medal somewhat familiar, as if he had seen it somewhere before. Nearby was a school uniform jacket from Tianhai City High School No. 1. Its owner was currently taking a shower in the room. Looking at the girl's silhouette appearing through the door, Lin Tu's nose began to bleed instantly. A name popped into his head. No one else fit the description better than Su Lingyu. Lin Tu was extremely panicked, cursing the system 1,000 times in his heart. It could have brought him anywhere, but it brought him straight to the house of this fire-breathing dragon. With her here, even a monster would likely be skinned to the bone. However, the ghost dragon was blinded by the allure of food, specifically the spiritual energy, and completely failed to understand its owner's agony. It continued to creep forward while the beast radar screen indicated that the ghost dragon was getting very close to the source of the spiritual energy. "Damn it, system, I swear you're getting me hooked on your little pranks." Unbeknownst to them, Ling Yu had already sensed something off in the bathroom. She quickly locked the door and shouted, "Who's out there?" Lam Tu felt his heart stopping in sheer terror. He desperately tried to convince Gui Long that if they stayed any longer, they'd both end up as braised dragon meat, never to enjoy a good meal again. But after stepping out of the bathroom, Ling Yu didn't see a soul. In reality, while she was bathing, she had been thinking about Lam Tu. She wondered if she had been a bit too harsh earlier today. That unawakened people should stay away from the awakened bit, it was cruel, but after all, she only wanted what was best for him. Seeing how pathetic he looked earlier, yet still stubbornly insisting he was the son of a hero, he was just so mule-headed. If the Tran Ho gang hadn't turned him into mincemeat, he was lucky. As she pondered this, Ling Yu heard a faint noise from outside the door. Her guard instantly skyrocketed. "Who's there?" she barked. She snatched a large towel to wrap around herself and bolted out of the bathroom. Just as mentioned, Ling Yu didn't see anyone outside. That was because Lam Tu and his dim-witted dragon had bolted onto the balcony and jumped a second earlier. It happened so fast that Lam Tu didn't even have time to react. Good heavens, he really wanted to scream at the top of his lungs right then. This was a balcony on the 40th floor, and yet that dragon acted like it was only the 4th. They were in a high-speed freefall. Lam Tu felt like his heart might give out and he'd die of shock during this escape. Thankfully, he landed safe and sound because Gui Long had fallen first, acting as a soft cushion. It was quite heavy, though. Its landing left a crater in the ground. Lam Tu let out a sigh of relief, thanking the heavens he was still alive. As for Gui Long, it was starving. Beep. The system finally chimed in, popping up with a notification to congratulate Lam Tu for successfully detecting a source of spiritual energy. It opened the second mission only to be met with a barrage of curses from both him and Gui Long. "Damn you! You still have the nerve to show your face, a beast radar light? How could that be a human?" Gui Long was also furious that the system had ruined its meal and nearly turned it into braised dragon meat. "I told you the radar. Detects spiritual energy reactions and concentrations, not the species, the system explained aggrievedly. Besides, both awakened beings and beasts are products of the global spiritual energy resurgence. So theoretically, the spiritual energy signature is the same. Even if that was the theory, Lam 2 couldn't help but be pissed off at being played by the system. He just wanted it to get lost. The reward for the second mission is something the host will definitely love. You're not going to take a look. The system sure knew how to bait people. After that announcement, Lam 2's anger subsided significantly. Even though he'd only had the system for a day, and it had already played him for a fool several times, he still begrudgingly opened the mission window. His second mission was to quickly push his bond beast, Guilong, into its growth stage. The reward for completion, a new skill called projection ability. Unable to suppress his curiosity, Lam 2 eventually had to, start talking to the damn system again to ask for more details. In principle, the host could only view explanations after unlocking the skill, but to boost his motivation, the system reluctantly spilled a little. The system replied, then opened the skill info page for Lam 2 to see. Projection ability. Allows you to project any beast you possess in your beast space. Then if you choose to merge with the projection Lam, 2 can replicate 30% of its total attributes onto himself. In other words, he'd be making 30% of the beast's attributes his own. Lam 2 finished reading the explanation and turned to look at Guilong with eyes full of suspicion. I can get a 30% of this useless thing's attributes. But thinking back when he checked the beast radar earlier, Lam 2 had noticed Guilong's size and brightness were similar to Ling Yu's. If he could really snag 30% of its power, he'd reach at least the mid-stage blood condensation realm. Any thought of Guilong being useless vanished instantly. Lam 2 felt incredibly excited, but that silly dragon wasn't willing to let Lam 2 siphon its attributes like that. Even though he was its master, he had interrupted its eating twice now, the first time when it was eating the eggshell and the second time at Ling Yu's house. Come on now, isn't the time to settle scores? Lam 2 coaxed Guilong. There's a saying, better to rely on oneself than others. Look at what I got earlier. As he spoke, something sparkly appeared in Lam 2's hand. It was Ling Yu's Grand Arts Association badge, which he had casually swiped before escaping. Having it meant he could enter the secret realm. And so that very night, Lam 2 and Guilong headed to the nearest secret realm, number A86. It was true that the realm was rich in spiritual energy, so Lam 2 promised Guilong that once inside it could eat, to its heart's content, so its mood right then was excellent. Fortunately, A86 was only an E-class secret realm with very lax security. There wasn't a guard in sight. He scanned the badge of the Grand Arts Association and passed through easily. The interior was originally a construction site, but work had been halted after the realm entrance appeared. Lam 2 and Guilong groped around in the darkness for a while until they finally found the entrance to the A86 secret realm. Let's go in, he whispered to the dragon. Guilong immediately moved toward it. As he crossed the threshold, Lam 2's feelings were complex. He whispered to himself, Father, your child has entered the secret realm too, even without awakening. An ability even after losing all the relics you left behind, I have finally taken my first steps into the secret realm. Stepping through that door, a different world. The portal opens and Lam 2 is a bit overwhelmed by the magnificent forest that suddenly appears before him. Even though this is just a low-level secret realm, the difference is too massive compared to the outside world. Inside the realm, there are many creatures. As soon as the demon dragon sees them, he gets so excited that he bucks his owner right off his back. Don't run off! Lam 2 hurriedly shouts, but it's too late. His silly dragon doesn't even make it 3 steps before tripping over a rock and face-planting into the dirt. Lam 2 is truly speechless. Please, man! This is a secret realm. Can you be a little more reliable? The demon dragon, seemingly offended by the criticism, lies flat on the ground for a few seconds before standing up straight and taking a deep breath. He lets out a massive roar. The sound echoes throughout the forest, and the one most affected is Lam 2, who is standing right next to him. He covers his ears tightly and yells back, "Why the hell are you screaming so loud?" The demon dragon turns and signals for Lam 2 to look behind him. At this moment, a giant beast, half bear, half snake, appears out of nowhere. Lam Tu sees the short-faced bear and starts panicking, screaming at the top of his lungs. A monster! A monster appeared. Fortunately, a second later, the system pops up to console him. The system is here, host. No need to be afraid. Seeing the system, Lam Tu hugs it tightly, sobbing and complaining. Finally, you showed up at a crucial moment. Tell me. Yeah, do you have any good ideas? The system answers nonchalantly. Reporting to host, what is in front of you is not a monster, just a normal prehistoric creature. Meanwhile, the short-faced bear has already raised its paw, preparing to swat Lam Tu. He immediately lunges forward, not forgetting to shout, "You call something that size normal? Are you kidding me?" He sees the short-faced bear lose its balance and accidentally slam into a tree in front of it. The branches collapse right where he was just standing. Seeing that, sweat is already pouring down Lam Tu's face. That swat! If that had hit me, I would have been turned into a pile of mush. Frustrated and angry, he turns to curse at the system. Normal your head if I hadn't dodged fast. Damn, my little life would be over. Immediately after the system feeds him information, host has activated the monster map. He opens the map and a series of voices ring out. Some prehistoric creatures accidentally entered the secret realm when the world changed and have survived until now. Short-faced bear weight, 1.8 tons height, 4.2 meters. Brief introduction, the largest bear in history. Extremely long limbs. When standing, it can touch a 2-meter basketball hoop. Living in the secret realm for a long time, they have absorbed much spiritual energy. Finding it too long-winded, he cuts to the chase. Can't you just get to the point? The system replies, right. The point is this prehistoric creature, despite its size, is not worth mentioning in terms of power, compared to actual monsters. Those words finally soothed Lam Tu's fragile soul. So it was just mediocre. The light point on the radar isn't even as big as the demon dragon's eggshell. Now, he regains his composure and looks at the short-faced bear, saying, if that's the case, then I don't need to be polite. My first time in a secret realm, I can use you. For training, he points at it and shouts, "Go, demon dragon!" But the only response is absolute silence. The short-faced bear on the other side is looking blank because it doesn't understand what's going on, while Lam Tu realizes he made a stupid move and starts trembling again. Now he can't stay calm and grabs his head, screaming, "System, where is my dragon?" The radar shows it's right here. The system replies calmly. The demon dragon is a creature with its own free will. This system is not sure either. At that same moment, the short-faced bear thinks it's being mocked and charges over in a rage. Witnessing that, Lam Tu keeps panicking and yelling, "Demon dragon, where did you go? If you don't come out, I'm going to die." Suddenly, from afar, sparks of electricity flash. The demon dragon finally appears to lend a hand. Just as the short-faced bear takes the hit, its health bar drops by a chunk. Without stopping, he follows up with a tail whip to end the battle. The demon dragon launches into the air to use his crow-sitting-on-a-plane move. The short-faced bear is now bleeding from the nose, drooling in pain. Its neck bone, despite being wrapped in a thick layer of fat, still cracks. The final victory goes to the demon dragon. Seeing that, Lam Tu immediately remembers the past and thanks heaven and earth, sitting down breathless. I almost died, luckily. My life was saved. Just a second later, he sees the demon dragon jump up. It turns toward the short-faced bear and opens its mouth wide. Lam Tu, seeing this, excitedly says, "Devour it!" Demon dragon, devour it for evolution points for leveling up. Just then, the system appears again with a projection message. After using this, you can project any existing monster within the monster space. If you choose to fuse with a monster projection, you can copy 30% of its attributes for the host for a period of time. This gets him excited again. He just needs to let the demon dragon evolve to its adult stage to unlock the projection skill. While Lam Tu is rambling on, the demon dragon is munching on the short-faced bear. After a while, he even puts on some weight. Congratulations, host. Your demon dragon has successfully devoured the short-faced bear. Evolution points +1, evolution points +1.5, evolution points +2. Lam Tu sees this and is speechless at the system's sneakiness. Every time you eat, it only increases by 1 or 2. You're really not messing with me, are you? Eventually, only the dry skeleton of the short-faced bear remains, while the demon dragon has a full belly. But he shows no interest and asks the system to calculate how many evolution points they've eaten in total this time. Then he hears the system report that this time they have received a total of 19 evolution points. Does the host want to spend the 19 evolution points and receive an evolution? As soon as the words are spoken, the demon dragon nearby starts glowing. However, the result doesn't improve much. It seems the spiritual energy in the secret realm isn't everywhere. Just eating prehistoric creatures doesn't give much leveling up. The system opens the monster compass, and Lam-Tu decides to keep watching the map. Fortunately, his efforts are rewarded. Got it. There are many light points here. Seeing that Lam-Tu turns and keeps waving, calling out, "Demon dragon, stop gnawing on that bone, it will lead you to eat meat." As they walk, he keeps exclaiming, "It looked so far on the radar, but we arrived so fast. This kid is really fast." A moment later, when he looks at the radar, he can't help but be surprised by the light points surrounding this circle. They are suddenly. Right at this moment, the demon dragon uses his feet to brake hard to stop. Dust is swirling all around the two of them, but very quickly, Lam-Tu realizes something is wrong. We are surrounded. A moment later, a pack of mutated dogs crawls out from the bushes. Seeing this, he panics and shouts, "System, what's going on?" And luckily, he receives all the information from the system. Mutated dog, weight 0.8 tons, height 1 meter, level E. Brief introduction. Appearance is like a dog, behavior is like a cat. Sensitive senses, sensitive to sound waves. Short front legs, long back legs. Likes to act in packs. Developed fangs, very strong bite force. Cat-like movement, keen senses, sensitive to sound waves. Short front legs, long back legs, prefers moving in packs. Well-developed fangs, massive bite force. Hearing that, Lam-Tu calmed down, turned to Kui Long and said, "A bunch of skinny, bony runts. Think of them as gnawing on chicken bones to sharpen your teeth." Driven by his own impulse, he gave them the finger to provoke them. "You guys think you can treat us like food. If you've got the guts, then come and get us, you mutant dogs." Not wasting a single second, the pack charged, jaws wide open, lunging from all directions to attack the two of them, but Kui Long didn't care in the slightest. It snatched up a mutant dog, and the system immediately sent a notification, "Your Kui Long has successfully devoured a mutant dog. Evolution points plus 500. Evolution points plus 1,000. Hearing that, Lam-Tu's eyes lit up. Devouring one mutant dog granted more evolution points than 26 short-faced bears who would have thought these skinny, bony dogs were actually such a huge gift package. His excitement grew, and he commanded, "If that's the case, Charge, as long as you don't eat yourself to death, keep eating until they're gone. Let's hit the adult stage in one go." Kui Long received the order. It immediately complied, unable to resist the buffet spread out before it. It lunged and crunched away, ignoring the system's constant chimes. "Your Kui Long has successfully devoured a mutant dog. Evolution points plus 499. Your Kui Long has successfully devoured a mutant dog. Evolution points plus 510. Your Kui Long has successfully devoured a mutant dog. Evolution points plus 503. At this moment, Lam-Tu's heart raced. In the blink of an eye, he'd already gained 2,502 evolution points. He was rich. He immediately shouted, "System, take these evolution points. Evolve, spend 2,502 evolution points to increase body mass." But that slight distraction almost made Lam-Tu fall on his face. Too high, almost fell. Kui Long's status, infant stage. Can evolve to overlord tier bloodline. Can evolve height to 1.8 meters, weight to 1.4 tons. Attack methods. Charge, bite, tail whip. Dragon tail skill. Initial skill, devour. He read through it and realized that just by eating a few, he had already reached 50% progress. System Mission 2. Quickly make the bound beast Kui Long enter the adult stage. Mission progress 50%. And looking at what was before him, he understood that his moment had arrived. If he wanted to devour the whole pack, he could use the projection skill. This was the correct way to open the secret realm. Meanwhile, on the other side, the leader of the mutant dogs suddenly roared, surprising Lam-Tu. "This one's the leader." As soon as the howl ended, the dogs entered combat stance, making him feel a bit worried. What did it say to its minions? Only a few seconds later, Lam 2 realized, why do their eyes look different now? Then a mutant dog suddenly leaped into the air. Seeing this, Lam 2 finally realized and shouted, "This dog! Why is it attacking me?" Luckily, Kui Long reacted in time and used its tail to swat the dog down, but the move accidentally left it injured, making Lam 2 deeply worried. Kui Long, he reflected on everything, and a warm feeling surged in his heart. A moment ago it had disregarded its own safety to protect him. However, Lam 2 quickly realized things were getting worse. These dogs were focused solely on him. After piecing it all together, a thought flashed in his mind. Could this be the leader dog's command using me to control Kui Long? Seeing Kui Long being attacked, his heart ached as if cut by a knife. No, this can't go on like this. Although these mutant dogs were only E rank, those sharp teeth could pierce through Kui Long's scales, and it was getting tougher because there were countless mutant dogs in front of them. If they mustered the courage to charge all at once, the consequences would be dire. Lam 2 looked at the system panel, feeling incredibly frustrated. Damn it, I'm clearly only 30% away from completing the mission. System. Mission 2. Quickly make the bound beast Kui Long enter the adult stage. 70%. However, Lam 2 understood one thing: this pack wouldn't give him a chance to prepare. You guys are so boring. Everywhere I go, it's the same scene. It reminded him of the past, bullying the weak. Lam 2 had been through this before, so he knew well that the soft are bullied, but the hard are avoided. This was his chance to break through his own limits. But you guys are wrong. Maybe I haven't awakened any real abilities, and I'm technically weak, but I'm not going to let you guys bully me as you please. He saw his chance. Lam 2 pressed his palm gently against Kui Long's cheek, pointed ahead, and said, "See that tree? Find a way to get there now." After that, they both shared a spark of determination. The pack didn't let them rest, lunging in to bite and tear. This method might be a bit dangerous, but I'd have to try. The action reminded him of the short-faced bear. If you like bullying so much, then I'll give you a chance. Now, if Kui Long and I split up, we can distract the dogs. Thinking of Kui Long using its headbutt attack to deal with them, he felt more at ease. Also, without the burden of having to protect me, Kui Long can let loose. I believe it won't be long before it eats this whole pack to level up. But now, Kui Long's feet were stained with blood. The only uncertainty was how long he could hold out against the encircling pack. He looked up at the tree branches high above. Used to do pull-ups in school, this height shouldn't be an issue. Without a second thought, Lam 2 leaped up the tree. It saw that it had been left behind and growled, feeling wronged, but Lam 2 shouted, "You idiot! Eat, what are you following me for?" Listening to his order, it immediately turned back to face the pack. He watched the pack chase after Kui Long, then he gave them the finger and cursed, "Keep chasing. If you've got the guts, call your buddies and keep chasing." But unfortunately, they just gathered into a pile at the base of the tree where Lam 2 was hiding. Seeing that scene, he couldn't help but feel terrified and started crying out loud. In the blink of an eye, they called that many, however they didn't. Just stand there, they started ramming into the tree base. The tremors made Lam 2 lose his grip and fall to the ground. During the fall, he didn't forget to scream, "System right! Now use all evolution points to level up, hurry!" As soon as the command to spend 2,100 evolution points ended, he fell splat in front of the pack of mutant dogs. One of them immediately seized the chance and lunged forward. Seeing that, Lam 2 shouted, "Damn it!" But he quickly pulled something out and swore, "Bring it on! If you've got the guts, let's trade 1 for 1. A burst of power was unleashed. The large tree in front was hit and crashed down. Lam 2's eyes went wide with shock. I actually unlocked a new move. He had done it. The power of the beast. Facing the fierce pack, Lam 2 couldn't help but panic and scream, "It's too late! If I fall into this pack of dogs, I'll definitely be torn to shreds. System, quickly consume all the remaining evolution points." In an instant, the system notification rang out. 2,182 evolution points consumed. Ghost Dragon has leveled up. Congratulations, host. Upon reaching maturity, the Ghost Dragon's physique has evolved, reaching 4 meters in length and weighing 3.5 tons. Congratulations, host. The Ghost Dragon has successfully entered the adult stage. Hearing this, Lam-Tu felt so frustrated he almost cried, constantly blaming, "Damn this stupid system. We're in such a pinch, can't you hurry up? Quickly, give me the reward for system mission. 2 system boards, show me now." Displaying now, congratulations, host, on successfully completing System Mission 2. The reward has been issued. Host, please review the projection skill immediately after use. Within the beast space, you can project any available beast. If you choose to project a fusion with that beast, you can temporarily copy 30% of all its attributes onto yourself. Seeing the text before him, Lam-Tu instantly froze. He looked at the treasure in his hand, momentarily stunned. This is it. The item that makes the Ghost Dragon egg materialize, right? The system chimed in, correct. It is called the Beast Projection Tube. Using it is very simple. It meticulously instructed, first host, you must place the end of the projection tube against your eye. The system continued. After that, rotate the dial on the tube to find the beast you wish to project. Finally, press the projection button and you can proceed with the projection. Lam-Tu quickly followed instructions. A blinding light instantly flashed right in his face. Lam-Tu reflexively fell headfirst onto the ground. He cursed angrily, "Damn you, just one skill, and it's this much of a hassle. Do you have a death wish for me?" Just then, the treasure in his hand suddenly collided with the ground. A powerful light erupted, and a strange seal immediately appeared. Lam-Tu gritted his teeth in pain. In the distance, a pack of mutated dogs was charging toward him. Seeing them, he clicked his tongue in annoyance. How hateful. Lam-Tu quickly stood up, grabbed a nearby tree trunk, and hurled it straight toward the monsters. "Come on, then. If you've got the guts, let's go one-on-one." Sparks of lightning wrapping around his arm immediately left him stunned. This is... Furious, he glared at the pack of mutated dogs swarming toward him. "Do these dogs think I'm a pushover?" Without hesitation, he grabbed another large tree trunk and growled, "If I don't show some power, you'll just think I'm a sick cat, won't you?" Lam-Tu smirked as a surge of killing intent rolled off him. "Looks like I'll have to teach you a lesson." The moment he finished speaking, his hand tightened around the massive trunk. Lam-Tu lifted it high and shouted with determination, "Listen up, I am a tough guy! With that lamb!" Two threw the trunk straight at the monsters. "Go to hell!" But contrary to his expectations, they easily dodged all the damage. Lam-Tu widened his eyes in disbelief. My God, how are they so agile? Looks like I'll have to wing it. At that same moment, a massive shadow suddenly appeared behind the pack of mutated dogs. Sharp claws with terrifying weight. It swiftly moved in. The pack of mutated dogs trembled in fear. The system immediately reported, "Your Ghost Dragon has successfully devoured a mutated dog. Evolution points plus 503. A series of notifications then rang out rapidly. The Ghost Dragon wiped out the monsters in the blink of an eye. Watching the scene, Lam-Tu couldn't help but exclaim in shock, "Ghost Dragon!" The system board displayed Ghost Dragon, adult form, can evolve into Overlord tier bloodline, can level up, height 4 meters, weight 3.5 tons, attack methods collision bite devour, divine dragon tail whip, skill primary devour. After reading the info, he was even more surprised. Just entered the adult stage. And it's already this big. This growth rate really lives up to its name as an ancient beast. Lam-Tu triumphantly said, "Ghost Dragon. Didn't I say I'd give you a full meal?" he asked curiously. "You saw I kept my word, right?" At that moment, the Ghost Dragon suddenly hissed loudly, making Lam-Tu nervous. Too scary. Shortly after, it proactively moved closer to him. Lam-Tu was confused. "What are you doing?" He was momentarily startled. "This?" A strange voice suddenly echoed. "Why did you leave on your own?" Lam-Tu panicked, looking around. Who is talking?" The Ghost Dragon spoke in a serious tone. "Leaving me is very dangerous." This scene left Lam-Tu dazed and confused. He screamed in terror, "Oh my God, you can talk, you monster!" The system heard this and explained, "The Ghost Dragon talking isn't anything new. You scared me to death." It asked with disdain, "Lam-Tu host, you didn't. Host you." Think that ancient beasts that ruled Earth for tens of billions of years were just low-level creatures with big bodies and small brains, did you? In the long river of life, they have evolved to possess super-high intelligence. To them, mastering human language isn't difficult at all. The ghost dragon frowned and said to Lam Tu, "You are too weak. You cannot take risks." He immediately snapped back. "Didn't you use me as bait to catch the short-faced bear earlier?" It turned away with a dissatisfied look. "That's different. I'm strong. I have it under control," Lam Tu said angrily. "I have it under control too. Besides, if I hadn't been decisive back then, we might have been torn to shreds by that pack of dogs." Seeing the ghost dragon silent, he suddenly realized, "Don't tell me this guy was actually worried about me." Immediately, Lam Tu was overjoyed and patted the ghost dragon's shoulder with a laugh. "All right, regardless of everything, this is our first time in the secret realm. Our cooperation can be considered quite successful. Now what we should do is go back. While it's still dark, let's return this medal to Tulin Nguk." Saying this, he suddenly froze when he felt his empty neck. "Damn it, the medal! Where did it go?" Lam Tu panicked, recalling the chaotic scene from earlier. "Did I lose it when I fell from the tree during the fight?" He quickly turned to the ghost dragon. "Hurry, we must find that medal, otherwise we can't leave the secret realm." After a while, Lam Tu still couldn't find the medal. He clutched his head in frustration, cursing, "Damn it, I've checked all the spots where we fought and still nothing. This time, I'm truly done for." The ghost dragon detected a strange scent and spoke up. "Is this scent from a crow?" Lam Tu, standing nearby, replied dejectedly, "I only heard that crows steal shiny things being brought back to their nest. I've never heard of dogs stealing things like that. Wait a second. This smell, it's a mutant dog, and there's also the scent of Tulin Ngok. And my monster projection skill can even boost my sense of smell." Long quickly realized it. This is it. Seeing this, Lam Tu rushed over to take a look. "Go!" As soon as Long lifted a patch of dirt, the boy breathed a sigh of relief. Found it. The medal was indeed right here. Lam Tu hesitated and let out a cough, but it looked like they wouldn't. I handed over easily. Suddenly, 3 small mutant dogs appeared in the cave. Weight 330 kilograms, height 30 centimeters, E rank, summary. Small and stocky body, prefers living in packs. Well-developed fangs, strong bite force. Furthermore, they have an extremely aggressive nature. They love to fight and pursue the principle of no fear, just act. Lam Tu asked curiously. "Small mutant dogs. Are they just the young form of mutant dogs?" The system scoffed. "Are you blind? They don't look alike at all. How could you mistake them for the same species? The small mutant dog is a subspecies that evolved into small beasts under the catalyst of spiritual energy." It continued, explaining, "Their bodies are short and small, so their individual combat ability isn't very strong, but by nature they love to fight. Once they gather into a pack, they will attack their opponents without any hesitation." Taking advantage of Long acting as a decoy, Lam Tu carefully searched for the medal. Soon he shouted, "I found it!" Hearing that, Long swatted the 3 mutant dogs away. It looked at them with a ravenous expression. Just as Long was about to devour the 3 mutant dogs, Lam Tu suddenly appeared to stop it. "Wait! Don't eat them. Leave them to me. I want to test the taming skill I just acquired." About 45 minutes earlier, Lin Ngok was standing on the balcony of a high-rise apartment building. She wondered to herself, one could sneak in from a 45th floor balcony, but to leave without a sound. Could it be a Keeman type, awakened one who reinforced their body to climb up? But that large hole! Is that something a human could do? Lin Ngok suddenly froze. Something strange had caught her eye. Lin Ngok quickly realized that Lam Tu surely couldn't have a second person with such terrible taste. Thinking of this, she instinctively looked up at the high sky. Speaking of which, Lin Ngok nostalgically remembered that during her patrol this afternoon, there was a moment when she felt the aura of a monster. She was a bit disappointed, but when she followed that aura, she only found a group of male students fighting in class. Lin Ngok was suspicious, and afterwards she even specifically took their student roster to compare them one by one. But those guys only awakened mid-tier abilities. She couldn't help but wonder if at that moment, I wasn't mistaken then actually, Lam Tu, the person who nominally hasn't Awakened any ability is the most suspicious one. Returning to reality, the elevator reached the first floor. Lin Ngok pondered, "But is this? Is it even possible? I've never heard of the ability tracking machine making a mistake, nor have I ever heard of an ability that manipulates monsters like this. Is it a Lugia type? A mind control ability?" she asked herself as she walked. But if he has a hidden ability, why was he beaten so miserably this afternoon? Without using it to fight back, it completely baffled her. Lin Ngok quickly approached the hole and smiled faintly. But there is one point that can be confirmed. If Lam Tu really has awakened some kind of monster manipulation ability, then the strange events that happened today can be explained. Lin Ngok suddenly stopped. No, that's not right. There's another new problem. In the middle of the night, why did that kid run to my house? Furthermore, how did he know I lived here? Her phone suddenly rang and she quickly unlocked the screen. Lin Ngok was stunned by the bright red notification in front of her. Inside an E-rank secret realm, a red emergency alert. What kind of situation is this? At the same time, in Secret Realm, a 86 Lam 2 was struggling to stop Kui Long. Wait a minute, don't eat them. Seeing this, the beast appeared dissatisfied, and even said, "Are you going back on your own word? This is the third time you've stopped me from eating." Lam 2 calmly explained, "The points from these little animals, compared to the short-faced bear, aren't much bigger. If you swallow them, you won't get many evolution points anyway. Why not leave them to me? Let me test that taming skill I just got." You carefully rechecked each line of information the system provided. This skill requires the animal to be tamed to have a lower rank than the host's bond beast. Taming skill, and can be successful if the host touches the monster's lower jaw to make it their own. It should be usable now, right? Lam 2 remembered Kui Long from before. He mocked his own aesthetic sense. Back when I got the taming ability, I even thought, are there really monsters lower ranked than this thing? Back to reality, he smiled wryly. But it's only been an hour or two. And it's already grown so big. As expected, the potential of these gluttons is infinite. While Lam 2 was distracted, the pack of mutant dogs suddenly attacked, making him panic. "Save my life." Seeing that the damage didn't faze him at all, he laughed joyfully. "Not hurting at all. I never expected the projection skill to work like this." At this moment, the system suddenly spoke up. "However, I must remind the host the duration for the projection skill is about to end. If after the allotted time you still haven't escaped the attack of the small mutant dogs, you will be severely injured." As soon as the system finished, the projection skill was deactivated, causing Lam 2 to take the full amount of damage. He screamed in pain. "Hey, get over here and help!" Kui Long couldn't help but laugh. "I won't come over. I'm afraid of hurting your pets." Lam 2 suddenly remembered. "That's right, I wanted to tame them." He raised his voice to provoke the three monsters. "Come here!" Lam 2's arm at this moment was aching and trembling. A layer of hard scales gradually covered his arm. The system notification quickly sounded, "Congratulations to the host for successfully taming the small mutant dog." At the same time, the mutant dog's eyes became bright. It didn't hesitate to jump down from Lam 2's hand. Immediately after, the mutant dog turned around to intimidate its own kind. Lam 2 saw this and broke into a sweat. This flipping sides and biting behavior really isn't wrong, is it? He was speechless as he looked at it, praising, "As expected of my loyal little dog." The system notifications then rang repeatedly. Lam 2 has quickly tamed. With all three mutant dogs successfully tamed, watching them dance around in front of him left Kui Long speechless. Just as Lin 2 was celebrating, the system suddenly pinged him. "Alert host, according to your current taming skill level, you can only tame a total of 5 beasts. You already have 4. This news hit Lin 2 like a truck. He immediately screamed at the sky. "Hey, why didn't you tell me something so important earlier? There's only a 5-beast limit total. Why did I waste 3 slots on these little mutant dogs?" The system sounded confused. "Weren't you having a great time playing with them just a moment ago?" Trying to calm Lin 2 down, the system added, "But host, don't worry, I have a way to solve this." A notification popped up instantly. "System quest, obtain 1 beast crystal. Upgrade beast taming system to level 2. Reward beast space skill." After reading it, Lin 2 felt disappointed. I thought it would be something useful. It's just another system quest, and it even requires me to grind for an upgrade. The system retorted irritably, "Host, you don't understand. Upgrading the beast taming system has tons of benefits, and it's not just about taming more beasts. All the system skills you currently have can be upgraded too." Lin Tu crossed his arms, annoyed. "That sounds easy for you to say. Do you think beast cores are just lying around? I had to use my dad's metal just to hatch the Guilong egg? How on earth am I supposed to do this in an E-rank secret realm?" Lin Tu turned to Guilong. "All right. Before Su Lingyu finds out, I better get this metal back to her." As he finished speaking, he picked up the mutant dog. "Be good now. Hand over the metal." Instead of giving it back, the dog licked Lin Tu's face. Lin Tu panicked and shouted, "Hey, get them under control!" Guilong looked on with contempt. "You can't even handle 3 of them." Lin Tu frowned and shot back, "You talk too much, watch me." In an instant, the mutant dog was knocked aside and the metal flew out with the momentum. Lin Tu quickly moved to pick it up. He was stunned to realize that the metal was designed like a picture frame locket. Lin Tu couldn't help but wonder. There was a picture of his father inside. Why would a photo of his father be in Su Lingyu's metal? A series of events flashed through Lin Tu's mind, his mother eating skewers, Su Lingyu exploring the secret realm. He wondered, could he have accidentally stumbled upon the truth about why his father went missing? His phone suddenly rang. Lin Tu stared at the unknown number, confused. Who would call him at this hour, just as... He answered. Lingyu's angry voice erupted from the other end. "Lin Tu, you brat, did you break into my house tonight and steal my metal?" Suddenly his phone buzzed in his pocket. He answered the unknown call. A shrill voice pierced his ear. "Lin Tu, did you break into my house tonight and steal my metal?" Lin Tu was deafened. It really was Su Lingyu. He tried to calm her down quickly. "President Su, what are you?" Lin Tu thought to himself. Crap. She found out the metal was stolen. Lingyu continued interrogating him. "Don't play dumb. You're in a 86 secret realm, right? I just received an emergency notification from the A86 Secret Realm Management Center." She announced that 15 minutes ago they detected a creature in the A86 realm with a mass of over 2 tons. Lin Tu was horrified. "Over 2 tons!" Thinking of the portal, she replied, "That's right. A86 is an E-rank realm. Monsters are usually under 1 ton. That's why it's used as a training ground for the blood condensation stage. A monster over 2 tons would require at least spirit aperture stage strength. It's incredibly dangerous." Realizing something, Lin Tu hesitated. "Wait. 10 minutes ago, a monster over 2 tons, remembering when he rode on Guilong's back to take down the small monsters? Lin Tu had transformed Guilong, making him grow massive. A monster over 2 tons. Looking back at Guilong, Lin Tu was speechless. He shouted out loud, "Could that 2-ton monster be Guilong?" He couldn't believe it. Lin Tu grabbed his head. "Crap! I'm in big trouble. I was only thinking about devouring and leveling up, and I forgot that this realm has strict weight monitoring for monsters. Calming down, he thought, the only plan now is to... I'll leave before things get out of hand." Guilong asked, "What's wrong?" "The situation sounds pretty urgent, but it doesn't seem to have anything to do with me." On the other end, Lingyu replied, "Oh, really? Well, the next part might concern you. Did you know the secret realm doesn't just have network access control, but it also has perfect security measures? Images of the agents and their teammates appeared. The Countermeasures Bureau's Special Ops team has probably already arrived, and they're likely conducting a dragnet investigation." The name alone made Lin Tu's eyes widen in fear. "The Countermeasures Bureau?" "This is a huge problem," Lingyu said, looking at the sunken ground. The reaction this time wasn't small. "It seems you finally understand the seriousness of the issue. The emergency notification has been sent. Sort it out yourself. If you can get your companion out of the realm safely, then you can call me." After that, she screamed and hung up. "Remember this. You stole my metal. I haven't settled that score with you yet." Lin Tu had a headache. What does this girl know? Looking at his father's photo, he decided that if there was an opportunity, he had to find her and get clear answers about everything. Then Lin Tu opened the system window. "But the priority now is to get out of this realm." Guilong asked, "What is wrong?" Observing the map. Lin Tu replied, "The situation is looking bad. Your existence has alerted the Countermeasures Bureau. They're doing a dragnet search right now. They're trying to hunt us down." Seeing food on the map, Guilong's eyes lit up. "Tasty food is coming to us." He immediately got a smack on the head from Lin Tu. "Eat your head." Lin Tu quickly tried to think of a way to escape the dragnet. Besides, they were after him, not the monster. Suddenly, a small mutant dog bit onto Lin Tu's pants. They wagged their tails and tugged at his leg. Lin Tu was confused. "What are these three little things doing? If there's a chance, I have to find her and get to the bottom of all this." With that, Lam Tu opened his system window, but his urgent priority now was to escape the secret realm. "Hey, Guilong, what's wrong?" Looking at the map, he replied, "The situation doesn't look good. Your presence has alerted the Countermeasure Bureau. They're sweeping the area like a dragnet right now. They're trying to sniff us out." Seeing the food on the map, Guilong's eyes lit up with hunger. "Delicious snacks are coming right to us." He was promptly smacked on the head by Lam Tu. "Eat your head." His mind raced, trying to figure out how to escape the manhunt, especially since he was the one they were after. Suddenly, a small mutated dog grabbed onto his pants. They wagged their tails and tugged at his leg. Lam Tu was confused. What do these little guys want? What are they doing? Watching them go over to talk to Guilong, I secretly felt relieved. Wait, can Guilong actually understand their calls? Guilong says they told him. "There's a huge deep cave ahead, we can hide there." Lam Tu is skeptical. Humans hiding in a cave, I feel like I'm turning into a monster too. Huh. Glancing at the system, Lam Tu pats the little dog's head. System can hiding in a cave mask. A beast's spiritual aura, they're so obedient I'm not sure, but obedient. The monster detection radar really didn't pick up these small, mutated dogs. Willpower increased. I just wanted to test the taming skill, he thinks. I didn't expect them to help me out so much at a critical moment. With no other options, Lam Tu gives the order, "Let's give it a try then." They move forward. "I felt the terrain here was strange before," he says. "Does that mean under these rocks? And are all caves?" They say there's an even bigger one ahead that can fit all of us. A massive hole appears before them. They've arrived. Smoke is rising from inside the cave as Lam Tu stares in. He assesses the cave. It's big and pitch black. I really don't want to go in there. A few seconds later, Guilong points to the cave and suggests, "Let me go down first. You wait here. Don't move around." Before he could say another word, Guilong and the pack of small mutated dogs jumped into the cave. Lam Tu shouts, "Hey, wait for me!" Following the winding cave path, they slide straight down. Upstairs, Lam Tu activates the system. "System, scan it. Can this cave really hide a monster's spiritual aura?" It replies, "Understood." Looking at the map, Lam Tu ponders. The cave might actually dampen the spiritual aura response, but it's still not enough to be sure if it can mask Guilong or not. The system displays, as you can see, the monster's spiritual aura response has decreased significantly. Without hesitation, he jumps down. I have to tell Guilong. Tell them to go deeper inside to keep an eye on the activity above. Guilong looks up and sees him jump down. Guilong catches him and scolds him. "I told you to stay up there. Why did you come down?" To ease the tension, Lam Tu smiles awkwardly. "Because you hadn't hidden yet, so I came down to tell you that." Inside the large cave, Lam Tu remarks, "This cave is big and deep and it can hide our spiritual aura. We're really lucky." Guilong replies, "You're celebrating too soon." Touching the wall, Guilong muses, "Look at this. These are digging marks." Looking at the cave map, Lam Tu probes, "Are you saying that all these big complex caves were dug out?" Guilong replies, "And the width of this place worries me a bit." Observing the deep, dark cave, Guilong speaks up, "Animals wouldn't dig tunnels wider than themselves." He suspects, could it be that there's some huge creature in here? With wide eyes, Lam Tu pats Guilong. "No way, right, this is an E-rank secret realm. If there really was a monster that big, then wait. The cave." Glancing down, Guilong replies, "Correct. This cave can hide spiritual aura, that's why we came here." Suddenly, Guilong smells something. Seeing Guilong's data reaction, Lam Tu is terrified. What is it? Guilong is on guard. There's something shocking ahead. Suddenly, Guilong and the small dogs bolt toward the end of the cave. Lam Tu chases after them. Where are you guys going? Don't leave me behind. Moving forward, Lam Tu is startled. This is the end of the cave. The smell of fresh blood hits his nose along with heaps of overlapping bones. What the hell is this? Kuai Long speaks up. Animal carcasses piled up and some look fresh too. Looking at his companion's eager face, Lam Tu warns, the shocking thing probably isn't just here. Huh. If you eat any more, this cave won't even be able to hold you. Suddenly the bones shake violently. Lam Tu panics. Why is it shaking? Aim so hard, is this cave unstable? Is it about to collapse? At the top of the bone pile, a massive monster is chewing on smaller animal carcasses. The monster appears. Fengxi Wind Eater. Beast, infant stage. General rank bloodline. Height 8 meters. Weight 5.4 tons. Ability. An ancient divine beast recorded in the Classic of Strange Creatures. Personality. Lazy, greedy, extremely inactive on the surface. Likes to relax, likes to dig large-scale caves in humid swamps and wait for prey to come to its door. Suddenly, from the cave ceiling, animals fall down. Lam Tu looks up. What more falling? It's the pack of mutated dogs howling as they drop into the cave, watching them tumble onto the bones. Lam Tu speaks up. Aren't those the hateful eyes pointing at us? He shouts, the dogs that led the attack on us earlier. They glare at Lam Tu's group while growling. Assessing the situation, he guesses, it looks like they think we set a trap for them. Immediately, Kui Long lets out a loud roar, forcing the mutated dogs to retreat. Beside him, Lam Tu says, wait, if they were on the run and aimed for this place. Looking at the battle-ready Kui Long, he pats his shoulder. Hey, now is not the time to fight. Not yet. Then Lam Tu points forward. The enemy of my enemy is... From behind the Fengxi opens its massive jaws. In a split second, it gobbles up all the mutated dogs. Witnessing the savage chewing, Lam Tu shudders. Fine, that's definitely a meal. At this moment, he starts calculating. Too vicious. 3 mutated dogs vanished in the blink of an eye. There isn't even a chance to turn the tables. It seems I can only face it myself. After finishing its snack, the Fengxi opens its eyes. It starts noticing Lam Tu's group and charges toward them. Feeling terrified, Lam Tu frowns and thinks, is this the 5-ton-plus monster? So scary. The next second, Kui Long leaps out to block the Fengxi. Its bizarre eyes fixate on Kui Long. The massive weight forces Kui Long to buckle. Putting all his might into it, Kui Long pushes back the Fengxi. Watching Kui Long tremble, Lam Tu gasps in terror. Suddenly, Kui Long turns to Lam Tu and barks. Hearing that Lam Tu is confused, what does that mean? Glancing at the small dogs nearby, he thinks to himself, Kui Long is talking to them. Suddenly, a small dog bites Lam Tu's shirt. They pull Lam Tu to run in the opposite direction. He is startled. Kui Long is trying to get them away from me. Noticing Lam Tu's group, the Fengxi glances back. With a violent swipe, it sent the earth dragon flying. Lam Tu saw this, and the beast's attention shifted toward his direction. To warn him, the earth dragon roared, "Don't worry about me, just run into the cave." Regardless, Lam Tu kept running as the gale boar chased closely behind them until they reached a narrower section of the cavern. The gale boar chased them in, but its head got stuck right at the cave entrance. Lam Tu gasped, thinking, is it stuck? But a moment later, the gale boar opened its mouth wide and began biting the surrounding rocks. Lam Tu's eyes widened. This monster's bite could pierce right through solid earth. On the other side, the earth dragon bit down on the beast, but when its teeth met the target, it didn't do a thing. It had no effect at all. Once it had widened the opening enough, the creature squeezed its body through. The earth dragon was shocked. Its hide was so thick that it couldn't even be bitten. Not giving up, the earth dragon rammed its head into the beast with all its might. Take that! After that, the earth dragon continuously used its body to assault the gale boar. The gale boar grinned with a truly sinister expression. It had finally locked onto the earth dragon, instantly ramming its head into the dragon's body, pinning it against the side wall and creating a massive shockwave. Noting the earlier marks, Lam Tu thought, the earth dragon's attack earlier didn't seem to leave a single wound. How is that possible? Recalling the intensity of the assault. The earth dragon couldn't even break through the opponent's defenses. It's the first time I've ever seen such a situation. Even though the Earth Dragon's rank is lower than the Gale Boar's, it shouldn't be that helpless. Suddenly, he realized something. Wait a minute, I've seen this kind of situation before. Back when I used to play games. Lam Tu began to analyze this scenario. It's always because the monster has a special defensive buff ability and attacks only work when hitting a weak point. Based on the Gale Boar's physique, the weak point is definitely on its lower abdomen. Once he realized this, Lam Tu rushed to find a way to tell the Earth Dragon. Suddenly, the system chime rang out. Host, half the night has passed. Would you like to perform a check-in? A check-in. A screen appeared. Correct. Host can perform check-ins to receive evolution points items, props, and even skills. Lam Tu was overjoyed. Check-in, yes. Perform the check-in right now. After a successful check-in, the screen flashed continuously. Daily check-in. Earth Dragon full mana. The reward displayed special skill Savage Breath. The Earth Dragon's signature move. It gathers all the power in its body to fire a beam of light from its mouth, with immense destructive power. Use it well. This is the strongest mouth cannon ever. Lam Tu then thought of the Gale Boar and let out a sinister laugh. Weak point identified. Skill acquired. Gale Boar, just wait to be turned into braised meat. Suddenly, a bucket of cold water was poured straight over Lam Tu's head. At the same time, the system said, Host, please wake up. Please seriously review the skill usage requirements. He was still excited, saying, Savage Breath is the Earth Dragon's strongest damage skill. Its power is truly incomparable, but because of that, this skill requires the Earth Dragon to condense all the energy in its body. In other words, it will take a very long time to prepare. The system displayed the reward again. Check-in reward. Special skill. Savage Breath. Gather all power in the body to release a beam of light from the mouth with immense destructive power. Use it well. This is the most powerful mouth cannon ever. The system asked again, Host, do you think the current situation allows for its use? Looking at the Earth Dragon and the Gale Boar, who were locked in fierce combat, Lam Tu muttered, looking at it like this. It really is a bit difficult. I have to rescue the Earth Dragon from its disadvantageous position first. He scratched his head, looking back at the few little mutated hounds. But right now, the only monsters I can mobilize are just these three. What can they even do? I need a stronger monster, at least one with half the Earth Dragon's energy. Suddenly, an idea flashed in Lam Tu's mind. Wait, to get half might be hard. He looked at his hands and calculated. But maybe I can create a monster with 30% of the Earth Dragon's energy. That would be myself. Lam Tu's face lit up with excitement as he asked the system, System, since I've checked in, does that mean my projection energy has been reset too? The system had answered his question. That is correct, host. You may use it at will. Upon receiving the answer, he said, Then it's settled. By utilizing projection energy, I can acquire 30% of the Earth Dragon's attributes. With this energy, I can safely rush out and draw the Gale Boar's attention. Lam Tu recalled the details of the projection energy skill upon use within the projection space. You can fuse with any available monster. For a short period, you can copy 30% of its total attributes. On to the host. Plans formed in Lam Tu's head. He knew the Gale Boar's weak point was its belly. He told himself, as long as I can lure the Gale Boar for a while and distract it from the Earth Dragon will have the chance to use Savage Breath to hit the weak point and finish it in one blow. Therefore, the key to this operation is how to distract the Gale Boar for the longest time. Lam Tu sat down and called the three little mutated hounds over. The three of you listen to me. I have a plan. Seeing them listen intently, he realized they seemed to understand him. Even though he didn't know to what extent they understood, Lam Tu began to explain the plan, even drawing illustrations. A little while later, when we rush out, the two of you figure out a way to attract the Gale Boar's attention and cover for me. You're responsible for following the Earth Dragon to pass on our battle plan to him, he continued, and I will hide in the crevices of the cave walls, waiting for the right moment to catch that wild boar off guard. Lam Tu then asked loudly, Did you all understand? They barked. Woof woof. He said these little guys seem to be reliable after all. Suddenly a noise from the Earth Dragon's side startled him. He looked over to see the earth dragon lunging forward with its mouth open, biting hard onto the gale boar's snout, furiously growling, "I'm going to bite you to death." Being bitten in a sensitive spot made the gale boar's face flush red with pain. It stomped its feet to build momentum and rammed forward, sending the earth dragon flying. Suddenly, a commotion from Quilong's side made him jump. Quilong was lunging at Fong Tuk, biting down hard on its nose, snarling, "I'm gonna bite you to death." Being bitten on such a sensitive spot made Fong Tuk's face turn red with pain. It shifted, stomped to gain momentum, and charged forward, sending Quilong flying. Tossed aside, hitting the cave ceiling, Lam Tu calls out to Quilong with worry. He looks over at the mutant puppies and orders, "All right, time for the rescue operation." They obey immediately. Lam Tu points toward the wind beast. "Go." All three mutant puppies dash toward Quilong. While being pinned down by the wind beast, the little dogs split up into a formation. Two of them charge forward together while the wind beast watches in surprise. They chomp down on the wind beast's ears. Seeing the two little dogs gnawing on its ears, the beast looks up confused. While it's distracted, another dog runs to where Quilong is trapped. The dog barks, revealing the plan to Quilong. Quilong understands. The other two dogs are still wiggling on the beast's ears, barking loudly, which annoys the wind beast immensely. The wind beast shakes its head repeatedly, causing Quilong some pain underneath it. Seeing the plan working, Lam Tu praises them. "Well done. It wasn't a waste of 3 slots on my taming list. Now leave the rest to me." He uses Quilong's strength to secretly climb the wall, carrying a large rock, and shouts, "Hey, you ugly pig! Take this!" The wind beast turns around in surprise. As he throws the rock, it steps back slightly. The rock accidentally hits Quilong instead. Right on the head, Lam Tu up above is absolutely panicked. "Oh no, Quilong!" That huge rock left Quilong's head swollen and he's lying flat. The wind beast grins, turning toward Lam Tu. Lam Tu panics as he realizes it's heading his way. His body shakes, but he tries to calm himself down. "Don't be afraid. Even if I'm alone, I still have my projection ability to support me." The wind beast approaches, still grinning. Lam Tu thinks to himself, "If I chose to explore this secret realm, I have to be prepared to fight monsters. In a life-or-death battle, weak nerves will be my downfall. I must stay calm." Lam Tu then thinks more realistically. That's easier said than done. These monsters are even bigger and more vicious than I imagined. Just standing in front of them makes my mind go blank. Even with the support of my projection ability, it's useless. Let alone fighting, just turning around to run away takes 120,000 points of courage. Lam Tu steps back, trips and falls. His face turns pale as he wonders, "Dad, did you always fight monsters like this?" He raises his hand to activate his skill. "Don't you come any closer!" A flash of light erupts from the ground right where the wind beast is standing. Lam Tu calculates. The energy seems to have condensed. This spot is perfect. Seizing the moment, he whispers, "Now!" Lam Tu yells, "Fire!" The wind beast is startled and surprised, looking around. Confused, the wind beast glows from below. It looks over, but Quilong is gone. The wind beast turns around and demands, "Where is Quilong?" Lam Tu just laughs. Triumphantly, he says, "Surprised? Let me tell you, you're not the only one who knows how to dig holes and set traps." He quickly jumps under the beast's belly. Feeling something strange, a brilliant glow and powerful energy erupt from below. In an instant, the wind beast is launched high into the air by the surging energy. It shatters the cave roof and flies upward. Then the energy fades, and the wind beast falls back down. In the distance, someone watches it fall through binoculars. After observing, they report to the squad leader. "Leader, at 2 o'clock, we've spotted a giant object falling in a trajectory. It looks like a monster. It's about 8 to 10 meters tall. It's very likely the target we're looking for. Go check it out." With heavy breathing, the longest night Lam Tu has experienced in 18 years comes to an end. Lam Tu seems surprised and stammers, "Is this the power of the strongest mouth cannon in history?" Deep in the cave, Quilong lies there, while Lam Tu and the mutant puppies find a way down. He wipes sweat from his brow and rubs the little mutant puppy's head. "Look at this. It was a feint hitting Quilong to make the enemy let its guard down, then launching a sneak attack. To distract it. During that opening, Quilong slipped out and attacked. Lam Tu acts as if he had been confident in the plan all along. What a..." clown. Kui Long sits up among the piles of bones and says, "It's a real shame you didn't see me attack the wind beast." Lam Tu is speechless. He remembers the moment he fought the wind. A beast. It was a brutal fight. He suddenly flares up in anger. What else could I have done? That's a level 5 monster as big as a 3-story building when it ran around. It felt like an earthquake. My brain was rattling. Forget attacking, just running away was hard enough. Coming up with the plan to call you was already an achievement. Suddenly, the system screen flashes repeatedly. Ding, your Kui Long has successfully devoured a mutant dog. Evolution points plus 476. Your Kui Long has successfully devoured a mountain frost snake. Evolution points plus 520. Your Kui Long has successfully devoured a violent bear. Evolution points plus 31. Your Kui Long has successfully devoured. Lam Tu is fuming. Why are you eating again? Did you forget why we even crawled into this cave? He continues loudly. The Countermeasure Bureau is out there casting a net to find us. They might be right nearby. Do you have a death wish? But while he's ranting, Lam Tu slips and falls all the way down into the cave with Kui Long. He lands face first on the pile of bones. Kui Long sits there calmly, eating while watching him clutch his head and groan, "That hurts." Suddenly, something sparkles and emits a blue light. Lam Tu looks over in surprise. This is not... He looks over and even Kui Long leans in to observe. Is this a legendary monster crystal? The system replies, correct. This is a monster crystal core. Even if it's just a fragment, it's enough for the system to level up to Tier 2. Suddenly, Kui Long's eyes shine like stars. Lam Tu realizes his intention and immediately hugs the crystal. This isn't for you to eat. This is for upgrading the system. Lam Tu asks, System, I want to upgrade. The system displays instructions on how to upgrade. Host just needs to place the monster crystal on the input portal below. The screen displays of the process. He follows the instructions and places the crystal down. The system text says, absorption starting. Lam Tu laughs. It's absorbing. The system immediately announces, congratulations, host the monster. Great Lord system has successfully upgraded to Tier 2. Congratulations, host, on completing the task. The system has issued a reward. Please check it. Suddenly, a backpack slowly forms on his back. The backpack is fully formed blue and looks small. Lam Tu picks it up and smiles. But curiously, is this the monster space? It's so ugly. But the system says, host, don't underestimate this backpack. It explains, just go inside, and you will find a whole new world. Currently, the host is passing through the entrance of the monster space. It is a spatial rift that can protect the host and keep you well hidden. Lam Tu is led by the system into that place. It's like an incredibly spacious room. The system explains further, the main body is 30 cubic meters, which can be used to store monsters and objects and keep them hidden from others. The host from the outside definitely wouldn't be able to, getting discovered by others. Upon hearing this, Lin Tu immediately got excited and stowed the beast away. Besides, why stay in this cave when he has such a good skill to remain undetected? Saying that he snatched the leg that Kui Long was eating and told him, stop eating this. I'll take you to get something better. A while later, outside not far from the cave, Lin Tu finally found the body of the Feng Tzi. Found it. This guy fell pretty far. Lin Tu saw the crystal on its belly and asked, is something this big also a beast crystal? The system replied, that's right, and looking at the crack on the piece the host picked up earlier, it fell off from that one. Lin Tu then wondered, but isn't it said that beast crystals are supposed to grow inside the beast's brain? The system replied, under normal circumstances, that is indeed true. But the current situation seems quite special. The system continued, host, please observe the area around the rim of this beast crystal closely. Lin Tu climbed onto the beast to take a good look. The rim looked exactly like surgical stitches. Could it be that someone... But why would they do that? The system then announced, host, wait a moment. The Beast Overlord system is updating the Level 2 Beast Manual. This Feng Tzi species, due to its special lifestyle, has evolved a unique type of energy. When they dig their lairs and burrows, they secrete a special kind of saliva. This type of saliva has the ability to mask spiritual energy. In the ancient era, some Feng Si herders used them to collect spiritual energy as containers to help themselves cultivate and level up their abilities. Hearing this, he pondered herding Feng Si and using them as containers to level up. Kui Long poked his head out of the backpack and spoke up. Those foolish monkeys, it's exactly like that. They think they are the rulers of the world, trampling on other lives as they please. Lin Tu then angrily tried to stuff Kui Long back in. How are you everywhere? Get back in. Without my permission, you are not allowed to come out, not even to peek. He then spent some time thinking. The key point of this matter is who exactly dared to herd these ferocious beasts. Suddenly, the system flashed red. Warning, high concentration, spiritual energy reaction, approaching warning. Lin Tu said, "It must be the Countermeasure Bureau. I have to leave here quickly." He thought then, jumped off the Feng Si's body. However, Lin Tu hesitated and looked back at the crystal. But leaving this beast crystal behind here is a bit of a waste. He climbed up and used his strength to try and pry the crystal out. Damn it, it's so tight! He used all of Kui Long's strength to pull it out, but it was still difficult. A short while later, wheels rolled up. It was the military vehicles and the Countermeasure Bureau's squad arriving. A group of 3 approached the Feng Si's body. One said, "Captain, it's definitely this thing. Look at this head, that's it." The captain, or better known as He Kong, stepped forward and ordered, "Da Zhuang, you take the team and check if the beast still shows signs of life. Curly Hair, you use the scanner to sweep the surrounding area once more." The others replied, "Yes, sir." Lin Tu was hiding behind a nearby bush, watching, thinking to himself, that was close. He felt relieved that he managed to pry the crystal off in time. It really was too dangerous. He opened his backpack slightly to look at his harvest. Because of this beast crystal, he almost had a direct confrontation with the Countermeasure Bureau. The system appeared again. Host, it's worth it. The spiritual energy inside this beast crystal is enough for the system to upgrade 3 levels at once. Lin Tu immediately said, "This beast crystal isn't for you. It's for Su Lingyu." He remembered the moment before, thinking it was a way to repay her kindness. "We were able to enter the secret realm because of the medal she gave us. In terms of loot, she gets priority. Plus, I don't want to owe that cunning girl any favors." Suddenly, a voice spoke up. "Captain, a strong beast. Spiritual energy reaction detected nearby. Lin?" Tu turned to observe. Someone standing near the Feng Si's body suddenly felt a large shadow covering them. It was the Feng Si. It had flipped over and woke up the person. Panicked and stammered, It's not dead yet." Lin Tu watched and asked the system, "Didn't you say the violent breath was incredibly powerful? How come it didn't do anything to the Feng Si?" Kui Long inside the backpack shouted, "How dare you doubt me?" The system replied, "The violent breath is indeed immensely powerful, but this attack just happened to hit the beast's core. The beast core absorbed a large amount of power which allowed the Feng Si to escape death." On the Feng Si's side, it started attacking them. Everyone screamed and ran. "Retreat quickly, get out of here!" He Kang on this side adjusted his hat, looking extremely calm. Well, that was unexpected. He began to take off his coat, his expression dangerous. "But it's nothing to be afraid of. Beasts like awakened ones are all products of spiritual energy." Someone laid a cloth on a table and said, "Captain, put it here, don't let it get dirty." He Kang placed his coat down and noticed the cloth looked very familiar. Lin Tu on this side became furious. "Damn it, that's my window curtain!" He remembered the time he fought the short-faced bear and thought, "Damn, the list of things to get scolded by Mom for. Just got another entry." He Kang approached the Feng Si, step by step, and said, "The difference is that humans use spiritual energy to evolve abilities to realize their dreams, while beasts use spiritual energy to construct their flesh and bodies." Seeing him fight the massive monster alone, everyone was worried. "Captain, be careful. The scanner shows that monster is at least above level 5. The Feng Si saw He Kong standing in front of it looking so calm, and it was quite surprised. He Kong started to erupt with his aura. His muscles slowly expanded. "In humanity, there are also people like me, stubborn, boring, with no dreams." At this moment, He Kong's muscles had grown twice their original size. Only knowing how to use spiritual Energy to reinforce one's own muscles. He glared at it. I'm the most suitable opponent for you. An information panel appeared. Hikang male, 45 years old. Awakened ability muscle. Category gate opening. Ability grade A. Cultivation level. Late divine mansion stage. Seeing Hikang's muscles mutate like that, Lin Tu was quite shocked. Damn, what is that physique? The Feng Si looked down at him, then opened its mouth, preparing to bite Hikang. Hikang raised his hand and without dodging delivered an uppercut from its chin, causing its jaws to slam together. Blood poured out continuously. The two sets of the Feng Si's teeth seemed to have been crushed together. Hikang's other arm seemed to build up power as it tensed. Then he grabbed the Feng Si's chin, pulled its head down, and swung, his other arm at its neck. The Feng Si didn't have time to resist. It only knew to widen its eyes in horror. In that moment, its neck was severed from its body and blood sprayed everywhere. Hikang had destroyed the Feng Si with just one move, even cutting its head clean off. Lin Tu, hiding in the bushes nearby, watched in extreme surprise. Just one palm strike. He remembered the image of Kui Long struggling to find any way to defeat the Feng Si and thought to himself, to be able to decapitate a Feng Si, even for Kui Long, an awakened of the divine mansion realm, he really is a monster. Hikang then turned back and said, Hey, don't hold a grudge against me. The Feng Si lay there gasping as blood continued to flow. He continued, Resolving a conflict by following the opponent's rules is my way. Show some respect at least. It's better than getting shot by that bunch, getting picked off from a distance over there. Just like he said, a whole squad was waiting. Lam Tu watched them from afar, eavesdropping on their report. We've searched the perimeter and found no other spirit energy fluctuations. The officer in charge, dressed neatly, nodded once, ready to clear out and chain up the beast. They loaded that beast onto the truck to head back to base. As the figure faded into the distance, Lam Tu finally relaxed and sat down thinking, lucky they confirmed the Fong Tuk was the target beast. A moment later, he returned to the beast's lair. Kui Long and the small mutated dogs were already there. He said, We're finally back in the Fong Tuk's den. No need to hide anymore. Lam Tu then held up a leftover leg of meat in front of Kui Long. See this? This is all your homework for today. You have to finish it all. It crossed its arms, acting indifferent. You want me to eat this? He tried to explain. The Fong Tuk was captured and now all that's left is the leftovers. And it took everything I had just to take it down. We can't afford to waste this chance to level up. Lam Tu held it out, ordering it to eat. Kui Long finally gave in. The system notification popped up. Your Kui Long has successfully devoured the mutated dog. Evolution points plus 467. An idea suddenly struck Lam Tu. While this guy is eating, I shouldn't just stand around. Seeing him using his backpack for something strange, the system asked, Host, what are you doing? Lam Tu, unfazed, continued, tossing bones into his bag and replied, I guess one meal won't be enough for Kui Long. I'll pack the rest to go. But the system warned, Host, this is a beast space, not a takeout container. Even so, he kept stuffing the pile of bones into his bag. On the other side, Kui Long kept eating, so the system logs kept popping up. Your Kui Long has successfully devoured the mutated dog. Evolution points plus 420. Your Kui Long has successfully devoured the Ice Mountain Sun. Evolution points plus 480. Your Kui Long has successfully devoured the Lightning Bear. Evolution points plus 26. Your Kui Long has successfully devoured. A while later, Kui Long was stuffed. With a full belly, and the entire cave had been picked clean by Lam Tu. He wiped his sweat and checked the system. 32,838 evolution points added to his balance. Now what would happen if I used these points to evolve? Lam Tu immediately commanded, System, use all these evolution points to evolve him right now. Then even the small mutated dogs grew. He gasped, Damn, is he really that huge now? Kui Long had evolved looking completely different from before. The stats appeared. Kui Long's status. Mature stage. Can evolve to Overlord rank. Can level up. Height 11.8 meters. Weight 9.6 tons. Attack style charge. Bite divine dragon tail swipe. Skills devour explosive breath. Lam Tu grabbed his backpack and muttered, All right, since you're full. It's time to head home. After all this trouble, I bet it's already morning outside. After that, Kui Long and the small mutated dogs crawled into the bag. Lam Tu pondered a bit more, but before leaving, he had to do one last thing. Even though the Fong Tuk was a big ugly pig, and sloppy, cunning, greedy, and annoying still, in this secret realm. You saved us 3 times. Lam Tu listed the good deeds. Your cave helped us hide from the Countermeasure Bureau. Your Beast Corps allowed my beasts to gain a beast space and hide their true identity. And in the end, at the most critical moment, you were the one who drew the Bureau's attention. If there is a next life, I hope you live freely in a high-level realm that can hold large-scale beasts. Time passed. In the beautiful city, Lam Tu returned after his trip. He stretched, feeling relieved. Finally out. This one night felt like a lifetime. Lam Tu then took out the Ling Ngok medal. It's just a shame that today I have to return it. I wonder if I'll ever get another chance like this. If there is, I hope it's with my own medal. He thought of a plan. Right, I'll meet to Ling Ngok this morning to return it. Thinking that Lam Tu grabbed his phone and messaged her, To Ling Ngok, there's something I need to tell you. Do you have time this morning? He grew anxious, not knowing how to bring it up. A series of memories rushed back. Lam Tu thought, I took her medal, so sooner or later I have to return it, but admitting I have it is basically admitting I snuck into her house. Then thinking of another thing, he continued, Plus, what if she asks why I went to the secret realm? She knows I have a beast, but not, to what extent? He held his head and said aloud, This is a total mess, an unsolvable problem. Lam Tu crouched down, clutching his head in worry. In this situation, I can only bank on this beast crystal. I hope that when Tu Ling Ngok sees this crystal, she'll be overjoyed. Suddenly, his phone buzzed. Ling Ngok replied, Sure, but the student council has an activity this morning. I'll be in the sports arena. If it's okay, just come find me there. Within minutes, he was at the #1 high school of Tianhai City. Lam Tu, along with his companion, clutched a crystal and walked toward the entrance. He walked slowly, looking around. I'm here. This is the place. Lam Tu looked inside, but didn't see anyone. But why doesn't this place look like there's an activity going on? He opened the door and called out into the sports arena. Hey, President, Tu, are you here? I'm here. Can you come out for a second? But there was no one inside. He turned on the lights, feeling puzzled. It's already morning. Why is the sports arena this dark? Suddenly, his phone buzzed again with a message from Ling Ngok. I'm busy. I can't come out. Just come right in. Even though she said that Lam Tu. Just then his phone rang again with a message from Ling Ngok. I'm busy with something and can't go out. Just come straight in. Even though she said that, Lam, I can't shake this uneasy feeling something's not right. It's pitch black inside the sports arena. What could I possibly be doing here but... Since I came to apologize, I suppose I should just go through with it. Follow me. I ended up doing as she said and stepped inside. Lin Tu kept looking around the room, calling out again, President Su, I'm inside. Your Grand Art Medal is... with me. There's just been a misunderstanding. Suddenly, the door behind him slammed shut, making him jump. Lin Tu's eyes went wide as he stared ahead. He looked on in horror at the iron bars that seemed to have been rigged up. What is this? I can't even... Because it was so dark, Lin Tu reached out, fumbling around. What's going on? Suddenly, footsteps echoed from the gallery above. The mysterious woman stood there looking down. Surprised. These were all prepared especially for you. Hearing her words, he could only offer a weak laugh. As she became clearer in the light, he realized it was Ling Yu. She glared at him, furious. You pervert! Peeping at someone while they're bathing plus stealing the medal. Lin Tu scrambled to explain. No, there's a misunderstanding. Just let me explain. But Ling Yu didn't wait. She used her ability. With a swift motion, she swiped the items from him. The misunderstanding made Lin Tu jump as he looked back. It was already gone. What she took was a piece of fabric and the medal. Ling Yu glanced at them and sneered, The stolen goods and evidence are both right here. What else do you have to say for yourself? Only then, with the misunderstanding so deep, did a terrified Lin Tu mutter, That's just a piece of a torn curtain used. Siki, to hide the ghost dragon. It's about to be exposed. Ling Yu interrupted. You see that, don't you? This arena has been set up as an inescapable trap. There's no way you're getting out. Just like last night. It's better to come clean and hope for leniency. He gasped. What? Lin Tu broke into a cold sweat, thinking to himself, there's no other way I'll have to? I'll bluff my way through this. Then he politely began his apology. I'm sorry I took your medal yesterday without your permission. He held up the crystal piece, trying his best to persuade her, but actually last night, I found this giant monster crystal in the secret realm. I wanted to give it to you as an apology. But suddenly Ling Yu unleashed her attack without mercy. She used an iron rod to smash the crystal to pieces. Lin Tu jumped back stunned and looked up. Irritated, he shouted, "Su Ling Yu, what the hell are you doing?" Ling Yu's anger didn't subside as she retorted, "Don't try to downplay the situation and avoid the main point. Explain how you managed to sneak into my room last night first." She used her ability to control every single iron bar in the room. She issued a warning, remember this. Don't try to hide anything and don't lie. Otherwise, the next thing that gets smashed will be your head. This sent him into a panic. Seriously. He stared at the iron bars floating in the air pointed directly at him. He thought I only borrowed the medal for a second. I don't deserve to die for that, do I? Besides, how am I supposed to explain this? Lin Tu continued to wonder, should I tell her I was checked by a monster lord system, that the system's radar led me to her place, that the ancient monster carried me up there inside? My backpack, the ghost dragon, and the mutant puppies were irritated by Ling Yu. They were dying to be let out to help him fight, but Lin Tu stopped them. This is a school, shut it. Seeing Lin Tu acting strangely like he was talking to himself, Ling Yu wondered who he was talking to. My backpack. Lin Tu scratched his head, troubled, thinking to himself, that ghost dragon. If I let it fight here, wouldn't it wreck the whole school? But he couldn't think of any other way. He remembered back when he was hiding in the Wind Demon's cave. The monster projection from today was already used during the fight with the Wind Demon. Realizing this, Lin Tu suddenly remembered something. Wait! The monster projection Ling Yu meanwhile moved her hands, preparing to control the iron bars. It seems I can't rely on you to tell the truth. Lin Tu immediately took the initiative and pulled something out, aiming it at her. Eat this! Ling Yu was stunned by the surprise attack. A flash of light surged toward her, blinding Ling Yu. As she was dazed, the iron bars she was controlling fell to the ground. Lin Tu dodged them, startled, and then shouted annoyed, Su Ling Yu, attacking someone who hasn't even awakened yet, you're heartless. In his heart, he thought, thank goodness I reacted fast. Suddenly realized I could do that. The projection tube can be used like this. Recalling that moment, he had asked the system, give me the monster projection tube. However, the system replied, host, I must remind you. The ghost dragon's projection was used early this morning. The system added, currently only the little mutant dog projection is available. Below were the small mutant dogs barking aggressively. A status board appeared. Little mutant dog. Weight 130 kilograms. Height 30 centimeters. Grade E. Profile small body, loves living in groups. Sharp fangs, powerful bite force. Also temperamental. He was speechless, whispering to himself, this projection won't lower my stats instead of raising them right. Lin Tu used the monster projection and said, what do you think? Eyes accustomed to the dark definitely can't handle such intense light. So while now... But in his heart, he was still a coward. He turned and bolted toward the door. Run. He originally just wanted to return the medal and apologize. Who knew it would turn into this mess? Whatever, I returned the medal anyway. I apologized and I gave the apology gift. Ling Yu clutched her eyes, reaching out to continue controlling the bars, muttering, this guy is truly cunning, ruthless, and deep. She remembered the image of Lin Tu being bullied. No wonder he was bullied so badly yesterday afternoon, and to think he could hold back and not use his real skills. Today I'm going to force you to reveal your true colors. She stared desperately toward the door while the iron bars chased him from behind. Almost at the door, just need to run out. Suddenly the iron bars slammed down at the exit like a fence. Lin Tu had to stop gritting his teeth as he looked back. Ling Yu began using the railings, controlling them and using them as a bridge as they slowly descended. Lin Tu panicked. Hey, Doesn't the rulebook say we have to protect public property? Why are you tearing everything apart? Even yesterday, she was just punishing the Chen Hu gang. In a flash, Ling Yu sprinted down the bridge. He screamed in terror. Are you kidding me? Are you a Gundam or something? As she reached the ground, Ling Yu jumped down along with 4 other iron bars. She slammed them down and Lin Tu instinctively rolled away to dodge. Lin Tu lay on the floor backing away as she stepped forward, radiating killing intent. Since you don't want to talk about how you got in last night, so you managed to sneak into my room, huh? Fine. I'll ask you another question, and this time you better be honest. Who was the accomplice that snuck in with you, and where are they right now? You thought to yourself, looking completely confused. Accomplice? Oh, right. Before Tu Lin Ngok had specifically mentioned it over the phone. She was standing right there when she said, the emergency announcement has been delivered. Handle the rest yourself. Go. For example, if you can get your accomplice out of this mysterious realm safely, then contact me. Lam Tu slowly stood up, gritting his teeth as he thought, so she wasn't actually angry about the metal being stolen or spied on at all. This whole trap was just to force me to call out Kui Long. You also remembered when you first entered the room you had said, if she went to all this trouble just to deal with me, then it's a bit too dramatic, isn't it? This woman is truly full of tricks. Lam Tu managed to pull himself up, grabbed the monster projection, frowned, and said, I won't let you get your way. Seeing you so determined, Lin Ngok was annoyed and wanted to use the same trick twice. She raised several iron bars, preparing to smash them down on you. Lam Tu finally cast the light onto himself. The mutated dog symbol appeared. Lin Ngok slammed down those iron bars, but you had already turned into a mutated dog and jumped up barking loudly. Lin Ngok saw this strange phenomenon and cursed, what the hell is that? Lam Tu gained the agility of a small mutated dog and leaped up to the second floor. After landing on the railing, he climbed onto the wall where there were some patched-up boards. Lam Tu tried his best to pry them off. At the same time, Lin Ngok controlled the iron bars to strike hard at where he was hanging. Lam Tu shouted as he jumped out the window, but the window was jammed, making him furious. Damn it, why won't it open? Seeing Lin Ngok's magic array closing in, Lam Tu panicked, grinding his teeth. The situation was so urgent, it made him even more flustered. Damn it again! The magic array blasted straight at the spot where Lam Tu was standing. A huge booming sound erupted. Seeing him get hit and falling down, from high up, Lin Ngok looked annoyed. What a pain! She frowned, and the spiritual energy in her hands intensified. The array immediately changed form. Lam Tu fell with a thud onto the ground with a cry of pain. The backpack on his back flew off, rolling several times before coming to a stop. He had just scrambled to his feet, not even having time to orient himself when Lin Ngok's magic array is swooped down. A huge explosion occurred and dust billowed everywhere. His transformation technique failed. Lam Tu lay there limp, his head spinning, completely dazed. Lin Ngok slowly walked over and scoffed coldly. I never expected you to have so many tricks up your sleeve. But this time, even with wings, you won't be able to escape. She looked at his backpack lying not far away. When it suddenly moved, she was a bit curious. Was this the backpack Lam Tu was talking to inside Kui Long and a bunch of monsters were bickering? Hey, can you hear me? Hurry up! Hey, get up and let me out. As she reached her hand toward the backpack, Lin Ngok thought to herself, this isn't the backpack he was wearing last night. Is there something special about this one? Could there be monsters hiding inside? She shook her head, dismissing the thought. No way! I checked that pit. It was at least 2 meters deep. There's no way it could fit in such a small backpack. The spiritual forms of Kui Long and the other monsters surrounded Lam Tu, urging him frantically, get up, hurry up and get up. After a while of being unconscious, Lam Tu stirred slightly. Mom, stop hitting me, I'm up. Kui Long suddenly went silent, speechless. You sat up, holding your head dazed. I'm Lam Tu. You suddenly remembered, oh, right earlier I let the projection of the small mutated dog get hunted down by Tu Lin Ngok, and that projection didn't just have its strength stats reduced, its IQ felt lower too. I remember I think the last thing I did was fall from the second floor after that. Wait. Your heart skipped a beat when you saw Lin Ngok carefully observing your backpack. My backpack. Lam Tu hurriedly reached out, his voice tinged with panic. That's my backpack. Give it back. Give it back. The other party quickly retreated a few steps out of your reach. Lin Ningok laughed provocatively based on your reaction, saying, "It seems I have found the exact answer. Your friend is hiding in the backpack, isn't they?" Lam Tu warned frantically. "Give the backpack back to me, kid. That backpack has a lot of destructive power. I don't have the ability to hold it back. If we fight here, the whole school will be leveled." She turned her back to you. "If it was something so dangerous, then that makes it even more necessary to open the bag and check. I hope you'll cooperate." Lam Tu secretly broke into a sweat. She didn't believe a word he said. The zipper of the backpack was quickly pulled open, and immediately, a wave of powerful spiritual energy surged out. Lin Ngok was momentarily stunned. What just happened? The backpack dropped onto the floor with a thud. Seeing several mutated dogs crawling out with scowling faces, you held your head. "All right, just be careful with the ceiling, okay?" It seemed they hadn't. They realized the situation very well. Lin Ngok hesitantly and confusedly muttered, "Careful with the ceiling." Before she could finish, she saw Quilong looming in front of her with a fierce expression. Lin Ngok froze on the spot, her eyes wide, letting the monster's saliva drip onto her face. After a moment of shock, she snapped back to reality and jumped backward angrily, shouting, "Lam Tu, you tell me the truth. What kind of things did you bring to school?" Lam Tu, inside the pen, said gloomily, "That's Quilong. It's a primordial beast. It went through its infant stage." Hearing this, Lin Ngok regained her spirit. "A primordial beast, kid? You actually managed to find something top tier?" You asked, confused. "Sis, you're not planning to fight it, are you?" She jumped up excitedly. "Of course, opportunities to test my skills against a primordial beast are rare." Lam Tu's voice. Shub became helpless and panicked. "Don't do anything reckless. If something happens, I'm not taking the blame." Lin Ngok frowned. "You don't need to worry about me. Isn't it just about getting bigger? I can do that too." The magic arrays in her hands kept changing. The aura around her grew stronger. More and more spiritual energy gathered into her magical artifacts. Lin Ngok flashed a triumphant smile. Her palm strike was directed at Quilong. "Well, based on this, do I have the qualification to have a match with your monster friend?" Lam Tu's hands gripped the pen, tightly. Eyes wide, sweat dripping down his cheeks as he helplessly cursed. "Damn it!" He whispered to the monster Quilong. "She is not an enemy and not food. You are not allowed to use your devour or explosive breath or anything like that." It wrinkled its nose and nodded. "I know I'll hold back some power." Lin Ngok saw this and was enraged. "You two are underestimating me too much. Take this iron palm strike." The magic artifacts in her hands formed a fist aiming straight at Quilong. Unexpectedly, it just lazily opened its mouth and let out a long yawn. Then Quilong turned and swept its tail horizontally, blocking the attack. In an instant, the magic array was shattered and hundreds of magical artifacts fell from the sky like rain as the long-bodied Quilong spun around using its tail to sweep across and block the attack in an instant. The formation shattered and hundreds of magical artifacts rained down on Lam like a downpour. "Lam Tu, watch out. Get out of the way of those steel scraps. If those hit you, you're done for." The beast immediately reached out to shield him. Lam Tu felt a sense of relief. The devil dragon was saved. The area around them was instantly littered with Su Lingyu's magical artifacts. Dust billowed, blocking his vision. He felt a bit anxious. "Hey Lingyu, where are you? You didn't get hit by that sweep, did you?" Just as he was about to call out loudly, he froze. Shock was written all over his face. President Su Lingyu, who had been knocked back by the devil dragon's attack earlier, was now hanging from a basketball hoop. She was both furious and embarrassed, screaming, "Damn it, get me down! And another thing, those three little mutts are yours, right? Tell them to back off!" Lam Tu put his hands on his hips. "Sure, no problem. But before that, since I've answered your questions, President Su, please answer one of mine. Why? Is there a photo of my dad inside your medal? What kind of relationship do you two have?" Hanging there until she felt dizzy, Lingyu snapped, "You perverted creep. What gives you the right to look through my stuff?" Lingyu's voice softened as she spoke slowly. "Lam Tu, you know about it too, right? 7 years ago, the ancient bamboo dragon beast attacked Tianhai City. The bamboo dragon destroyed more than half the city. The ruins, the sea of flames that will forever be a nightmare in my mind. During that disaster, my mother was pinned under the rubble. She choked up a little, the memories of that day, flooding back. Lingyu held her mother's hand, terrified. "Mom, let me help you." Her mother's voice was broken. "Run away! Leave me be! Just go!" she cried loudly. "No, I want to!" "Stay with you!" Not far away, the beast was roaring madly, and the aftershocks made the ground tremble violently. Her mother croaked, "Run!" Lingyu gripped her tightly. "If I'm not going to live, I'll die with you." The mind of a child like her back then could only close her eyes and pray in despair. Damn it. Someone save us, save us. And then suddenly, someone appeared. That person had just arrived and unleashed the Thunder Shock Iron Fist. The sound of the force slamming into the beast was thunderous. The powerful shockwave blew away the rocks and debris all around. A man appeared in Lingyu's sight, his figure imposing, filled with the aura of a warrior. The dragon venerable turned his head, smiled at her faintly, and gave her a thumbs up. "Well done." Lingyu, with tears and snot running down her face, was stunned. Her innocent eyes just kept staring at him. This person is so strong. Returning to reality, she hesitated for a moment. "So that's how you and my mother were saved." Lam Tu was thrilled when he heard this. "I told you my dad wouldn't run away from battle. I never expected he would even gift that iron dragon to me. One punch, that's amazing." Lingyu frowned and clenched her fists. "Right. I've always hoped to land a punch just like his, but I never expected that after so many years of bitter training. My fist is still so weak against a beast that has just passed its infancy." She thought back to the clash with the devil dragon and sighed. Just one. Sweep and the magical formation and artifacts she had worked so hard to master were shattered in an instant. The atmosphere suddenly fell into silence. No one said anything for a while. After a long pause, Lingyu finally spoke up. "Where do you usually keep him at your house? You can't just keep him locked in that backpack forever, right?" Lam Tu was a bit awkward, thinking to himself, "I can't exactly tell her he only just arrived yesterday, can I?" He mumbled non-committally. Something like that. She looked toward the devil dragon. "Oh, by the way, buddy, do you want to come live at my place? That way we can spar every day." The dragon rolled its eyes. "Who's stupid enough to be your punching bag?" Lingyu didn't give up enticing him. "I forgot to mention, my house is inside a secret realm. It's as big as you want it to be, and there's as much food as you could ever eat." As soon as the devil dragon heard that, it did a 180-degree turn and jumped up. I want it! I want it!" Lam Tu behind them was so angry he stomped his feet. "Hey, don't go enticing my beast right in front of its master." Lingyu laughed sheepishly. "Sorry, I almost forgot. Actually, I also welcome you to come too." He froze blankly, pointing at himself. "You welcome me too." What's that supposed to mean? Not knowing where her mind was going? Lam Tu awkwardly coughed a few times, hastily trying to change the subject. "Lam." Tu asked about his father's situation. "Speaking of that, what happened later, my dad and the bamboo dragon?" Lingyu's eyes dimmed with sadness. "Sorry, I don't know what happened after that. My mother and I were rescued by others from the Countermeasures Bureau. But because her injuries were too severe, my mother passed away shortly after, and I was adopted by my current father. Later, I was brought to the Bureau by him to be awarded a medal. That's when I found out his name was Lam the Dragon Venerable, and I also heard some nasty rumors." Lam Tu also suddenly recalled some things he had heard. Deep down, he scoffed at those rumors. "Wait, that's not right. According to Su Lingyu's memories, many people in the Countermeasures Bureau witnessed my dad's fight with the bamboo dragon. So why would those rumors bad-mouthing him still be circulating?" Seeing him lost in thought, Lingyu called out, "What are you thinking about? Don't space out. The important part is what I wanted to call you here for today. I don't know where Master Lam is, so I could only return to the ruins of my old home to pay my respects. But I discovered something in the rubble." She whispered to herself, "This is the great art medal that Master Lam wore. Did something happen to him? That's impossible. Surely not. He's so strong." Lam Tu suddenly became tense and pressed her. "So, was there anything else at the scene?" Right at this moment, the system sent a warning. Alert: the beast radar has detected suspicious spiritual energy fluctuations around the host. He was startled. Another warning. In red, Lingyu turned to the side, rummaging through her bag for something. So today, I originally wanted to give you this. Lam Tu urgently signaled her. Wait, it seems like there's a problem. System, open the beast. Radar. He looked closely at the screen and felt a bit annoyed. The dot of this suspicious spiritual energy reaction was only the size of a small mutant dog. System, you're really making a mountain out of a molehill lately. Wait, on the radar position, could it be that this guy has already entered the arena and is currently behind me? System, tell me, is it wrong? The target is behind the host, just cloaked, so the host can't see it. But it cannot escape the system's God's eye. This system has already analyzed the target beast for the host evil eye. Entity form separate level. A dual-gender beast that exchanges information through spiritual energy waves. 3 mutant dogs. Suddenly, they all started growling and barking non-stop. Lam Tu secretly realized they seemed to be able to see the presence of the evil eye. That's right, dogs have keen hearing. He chuckled inwardly. This time, evil eye, you've met your match. Lam Tu pointed and commanded, those hounds, sniff it out and drag it here for me. Ling Ngok, standing by, didn't understand what was happening. Lam Tu, what on earth is going on? He gestured, signaling the hidden agents to enter the arena. Watch and learn, he said. Suddenly, a light bulb went off in his head. Right. Don't I have someone right by my side who screams about the heavenly net every single day? The heavenly net, right? How could I have forgotten her? He immediately suggested, Chairwoman, too. I need you to set up cages in all 4 corners of the arena right now, each one 3 meters high. Open the side face. Ling Ngok's jaw dropped. She didn't understand the full picture, but she followed his instructions anyway. Pointing at the cages, Lam Tu gave the order, drive the evil eye into the cage quickly. The 3 hounds rushed forward. Seeing them pause, he urged, now shut the cage doors. A loud slam echoed as the doors shut decisively. The evil eye was revealed. No line missing merging flow. A hound jumped up and bit its wing. Lam Tu was surprised. This beast looks just like a camera head. Data on the screen confirmed it didn't just look like one. Its function was the same too. The evil eye's dual bodies, after separating, exchange information through a specific type of spiritual energy wave. This wave can even penetrate the barriers of secret realms. Therefore, in some places, this beast is truly used as a tool for eavesdropping and spying through realms. Lam Tu frowned. This means someone is actually spying and scouting on us. And it appeared right when we were talking about my dad's medal. Merged with above. Is it just a coincidence? He smirked. But since you used a beast to monitor the Beast Lord, whoever you are, you're asking for trouble. Ling Ngok took out her phone. She turned on the camera. Is this the evil eye? Let me take a photo first. I saw it in Dad's books before, but I've never seen a live one. Once done, she sent the photo to her contact list. Please help me out, guys. Does anyone know what this thing is below? Right. Let me tag Dad, too. Not even 5 seconds later, her phone started ringing incessantly. Ling Ngok beamed. As expected, he called back so fast. Wait a sec, Dad. That's right, it's that one. Don't ask how I caught it. I just want to investigate who sent it. Lam Tu pensively looked at the charm hanging on her phone case, thinking to himself, was this keychain also a gift from Dad? How could Dad stitch such an ugly puppet? Merged with above. He remembered when he was a kid, Dad had stitched a stuffed animal for him while coaxing, look, this monster is so strong, brave, and big. Dad gives it to you hoping that no matter how difficult things get, you will keep moving forward like it does fearless. Thinking of this, Lam Tu's eyes suddenly turned cold. Dad, look, I am now the ruler of monsters far more powerful than that toy. System, how many slots are left in my taming skill? A message popped up. After leveling up the host's taming skill, you can hold 7 monsters. There are currently 3 slots left. After a while, merged with above, of talking on the phone, Ling Ngok hesitated and clarified. Is it really that hard? On the other end? The voice explained. First, we need to pinpoint the exact source, emitting the spiritual energy wave, then collect the energy waves it releases, and then proceed to analyze and process it. She turned to him and whispered, it seems there's no other way. Although theoretically possible in practice, it's extremely complex. The success rate is... Lam Tu grinned, holding the evil eye in his hand. No. Problem! I've already done it! At the same time, at a remote base in the middle of the forest, Kalavika's silhouette flickered in the air. As soon as she entered the room, she reported, Professor Tuyet, the Countermeasure Bureau, sent the information, but the Spirit Core has been stolen. Tuyet Muk's voice sounded. Regardless, why do you care so much? We aren't just here to report this. Come here and look at this. Do you know it? From the window ledge, Kalavika spread her wings and flew down. Upon seeing the ghost dragon on the screen, she was shocked. This monster is... Tuyet Muk explained. This morning, the evil eye sent to Secret Realm a 86 lost contact. This was the last thing it sent back. The information couldn't be detected. The monster being watched by the Countermeasure Bureau must be this one. However, no matter how you look at it, this thing weighs 10 tons. If the Countermeasure Bureau isn't stupid enough to provide the wrong important information, then it means this monster grew from a few tons to this size in just one night. Kalavika's eyes widened. How is that possible? He turned back to his test subject and softly counted 1, 2, 3, 4. The tentacles with eyes on the monster were immediately merged with above, swiped down by Tuyet Muk. Those tentacles quickly turned into 4 or 5 evil eyes. He ordered, go get close to that monster, I want to understand every aspect of it. Just then the large screen, merged with above, has suddenly flickered, and Lam Tu's image appeared. Kalavika was startled. Professor Tuyet, look, the evil eye initiated a holographic connection. His voice came through hesitant and curious. It seems like it can connect, right? Ling Nok anxiously reminded, Lam Tu, stop playing around. Be careful, you'll get killed. Staring intently at Tuyet Muk and Kalavika Lam, Tu looked bewildered. Is this a cosplay convention? Kalavika agitated. Infiltrated, but this screen is connected to a monster. He spoke coldly. It was you two who sent the evil eye to spy on us, wasn't it? Tuyet Muk chuckled. Evil eye. You mean the evil eye unit, is it under your control now? Not bad. Lam Tu pointed at him, warning, don't change the subject. Why? Are you monitoring us? Tuyet Muk calmly suggested. Actually, I just want to make a deal with you. Lam Tu didn't understand, nor was he interested, so he frowned. What kind of deal? He displayed the image of the ghost dragon. I hope you can bring this monster here so I can take some of its genes. Lam Tu pointed to himself, unable to believe what he was hearing. You want to take its genes on what grounds, Tuyet Muk, then? Come here, let me extract some genes from him. He pointed at himself. Lam Tu looked like he couldn't believe what he'd just heard. You want to extract genes on what grounds? What kind of act is this? He brought up another image, then paused. He explained that over 4,000 nautical miles from Tianhai City, there was an island called Extreme Abyss. These images were from 64 years ago. They were sent back by the survivors of a scientific expedition team from the human parliament. On Extreme Abyss, this monster alone could wipe out all 3 of the scientific expedition teams. To get information on it, I conducted surveys and research on Extreme Abyss for 12 years. I finally discovered that it had vanished from the island 20 years ago. And yet, who would have thought I'd find an identical monster here in Tianhai City? Now Lam Tu compared the image of the demon dragon to that monster. For a moment, then involuntarily hesitated. Identical. Watching the boy's reaction, the corners of his mouth curled slightly. A flash of triumph crossed his face. He feigned friendliness, sharing, My life's goal is to build a monster paradise. Because of that, I have collected tens of thousands of different types of monsters. But these collections of mine compared to the monsters you have are really not worth mentioning. I only want to collect their genes. I won't let you suffer any losses. Furthermore, if you are willing, I can provide some fascinating information as a reward. Lam Tu thought to himself, those monsters are like the ones before, with monster crystals embedded in their bodies, and their bodies are used to absorb spiritual energy. How disgusting. It feels like this guy is just a giant parasite. He said in a low voice, What information can you provide? Lin Ngok, standing by his side, suddenly felt uneasy and whispered a warning to Lam Tu. Tuyet Muk held up a photo of his father. I know your name is Lam Tu, and I know you are searching for the whereabouts of your father Lam Long Ton. I have some vital information regarding Lam Long Ton, the monster on Extreme Abyss. Vanished without a trace 20 years ago. Your father moved to Tianhai City 20 years ago as well. And you just happened to find a monster exactly like the one on Extreme Abyss. Don't you think all of this is too much of a coincidence? Everything points toward Extreme Abyss. He tempted and threatened at the same time. And I happen to have the expedition records from 20 years ago for Extreme Abyss. So how about it? Want to cooperate? After listening, Lam Tu fell silent. He thought to himself that all of this really couldn't just be explained by coincidence. But seeing his increasingly dark expression, Lin Ngok panicked. Lam Tu, don't be fooled, I just remembered who he is. He is Tiek Muk, originally a genius in biochemistry and monster studies. However, because of participating in some forbidden research like human body modification, genetic editing, and monster breeding, he was put on the wanted list by the Policy Bureau. The system displayed information. Tikmuk male, 40 years old. Awakening power surgery type exotic category. Strength rating, C level. Cultivation realm. Spiritual aperture stage. Seeing no response from the other side, she was so anxious. She almost punched Lam Tu. Lam Tu smiled to reassure her. No need to worry, I won't cooperate with this despicable old man. Besides, if I can just steal it, why would I need to negotiate with him? Lin Ngok was stunned. Steal? Lam Tu nodded and coldly commanded, go, Great Eye number 2345 launch. Tekmuk calculated, this guy should only have one male host body in his possession, right? Before he could take precautions, the data drive in his hand was suddenly snatched away by an invisible force. It shot toward the door like it had a rocket strapped to its rear. Kalavika was confused. What is this? Then she immediately flew after it. Professor Tiek, we've been tricked. I don't know what methods this kid is using, but he can even control the female host in the lab. Now even the 4 male hosts you just selected are being controlled by him. Tiekmuk clicked his tongue in contempt. What are you afraid of? He pressed a button. The monster's single eye suddenly bulged, its surface covered in horizontal and vertical blood vessels. Then a loud pop rang out. The monster's body instantly shattered into pieces. Tiekmuk said coldly, the female host is even easier to deal with. On Lam Tu's side, the monster suddenly struggled, in pain. The signal on the screen flickered incessantly. He worriedly said, Great Eye, what's wrong? As he held it in his arms, Lam Tu flared up. What did you do to Great Eye? Tekmuk thought Great Eye, the female specimen, sounds ridiculous. He replied nonchalantly, You might be able to coax my monsters into rebelling, but you have no idea how I manipulate them, do you? What I awakened is the surgery ability, which belongs to the exotic category. I can cut or graft any body part of an animal at will. Because of that, I use this ability to graft a crystal core containing a chip into the monster's body. I can use this chip to control the crystal core, remotely absorb the monster's spiritual energy, control their growth, or convert the spiritual energy inside the crystal into electrical currents to punish monsters that don't listen. Tiekmuk slapped the monster he was studying violently. Or like right now, I can make the crystal release all its energy in an instant. Have you ever seen a balloon blown up until it explodes? Seeing the monster trembling in pain, Lam Tu couldn't stand it and shouted, Stop it! He smiled wickedly. You want me to stop? That's very easy. Why don't you just give up control over it yourself? Lam Tu frowned. A look of helpless confusion appeared in his eyes. But I only know how to tame it. I don't know how to give it back. The monster's eye bulged more and more. Its body trembled incessantly. Tiekmuk's voice echoed, So how about it? Think it over again. Do you want to work with me? You still have a little bit of time left before this traitor breathes its last breath here. He raised his foot and crushed a monster. If the spiritual energy wave is severed, you won't be able to respond, nor will you be able to issue any instructions to the female monster. Ever again. Tiekmuk suddenly laughed gleefully. Losing the spiritual energy transmitted by the female, the males will immediately reveal their true form. Kalavika chased after the stolen data drive desperately. Where do you think you're going? Lam Tu relaxed his body and lowered his voice. All right, I understand. Your proposal. He stopped and took a deep breath, then firmly announced, I refuse. Even if I spend my whole life never finding my father, I still won't work with a pervert like you. Damn it, he doesn't even see these monsters as living beings. Lin Ngok, standing by, was suspicious. Monsters are living beings. Lam Tu leaned his face toward the screen. Don't talk about the demon dragon's genes. Even Great Eye, I won't give it back. To you. Lin Ngok hurriedly tried to intervene. Lam Tu, please calm down. This is just a 3D hologram, yet this brat Tai Mo is so furious, he's practically trying to crawl into my screen. I should give him a good smack, or at least stop him from spitting all over my monitor. Seeing the two of them clashing, Gui Long curiously steps closer, mimicking Lin Tu's posture, growling and threatening Ling Yu. Startled, she exclaims, Gui Long, what are you doing? It just stares intently. Caught off guard by this turn of events, Kalavika panics. Instinctive fear makes her tremble. Damn it, what the hell is this? She thinks to herself. She tells herself, is this the monster from Extreme Abyss Island that Professor Tai has been obsessed with all these years? Even knowing it's just an illusion, I still feel terrified. Gui Long growls coldly. You are nothing but a foolish monkey who dares to trample on a life just because you want to. Right, he doesn't dare treat the monster like a toy. After calming down, Tai Mo seems excited. Absolutely magnificent. It's no wonder this is the super-grade monster I've been hunting for 12 years. He raises his hand toward the screen in provocation. What's the matter? You want to bite me? Come on, then. It glares at him with contempt. Who would want to eat a disgusting creature like you, but I will show you what a monster's wrath truly looks like. Gui Long lets out a thunderous roar through the screen. No text to translate, continued roar. Tai Mo and Kalavika have to cover their ears, trembling. Over at Lin Tu's side, things don't look much better. The furious roar echoes endlessly. Covering his ears, Lin Tu panics. Gui Long, stop roaring through the screen. Your anger is useless. Suddenly, Ling Yu cries out, Wait, that's not right, Lin Tu, look at this. Hearing this, Tai Mo becomes even more excited. This tall, powerful frame. And this majestic roar like a king, it's truly perfect. At this moment, behind him, a monster in a testing tank starts to stir and opens its eyes. Then the others begin to awaken as well. Lin Tu thinks to himself in shock. Is that monster responding to Gui Long's roar? One call, 100 responses. Could this be the summons of the Monster King? Ling Yu reminds him. Can't you tell? That is the function of spiritual energy. Gui Long is using the Evil Eye's spiritual wave to transmit a massive amount of energy to the other side. Lin Tu suddenly realizes, right. The male Evil Eye and the main body use spiritual waves to communicate so it can withstand the energy flow. Looking at the Evil Eye near Tai Mo, it is stretching its tentacles to break the shackles on its body. Ling Yu concludes that the weaker monsters in the lab are absorbing the spiritual energy from Gui Long, which is why they are regaining their vigor. The monster in the tank suddenly goes berserk, and the glass begins to crack under its impact. Meanwhile, Tai Mo is still marveling. To think it could come up with a way like this. No wonder it's the monster I chose. The creature continues to relentlessly try to break its bonds. Water begins to gush out from the cracks. Then, a massive explosion echoes as the tank shatters. Freed, the beast lets out a blood-curdling roar. Kalavika looks up and is so horrified her eyes widen, and her pupils contract. She screams, Professor Tai, look out! The space flashes. Something streaks past instantly and blood splatters everywhere. In the emergency, Kalavika grabs Tai Mo and flies away, but it's too late. Half of his body remains in the monster's jaws. Lin Tu is stunned at the sight, but suddenly, a hand reaches out to gently cover his eyes. Ling Yu whispers, This isn't something you should be watching. She gives a command to the number 3 Great Eye while, The chance is here, get out of there quickly and come to us. Lin Tu gives a light smile and repeats the order. Great Eye follow her instructions. The system sends out the radar location data to the number 3 Great Eye. It clutches the data drive tightly, then happily flaps its wings, flying out along with the escaped monsters. The female Evil Eye watches it until it disappears from view. Its tentacles are still frantically pulling off the shackles. Soon, it breaks free too. Finally feeling relieved, she looks at the ruins. Kalavika speaks up. I'm sorry, Professor Tai. The male Evil Eye took the backup devices and ran away. What should we do? Should we pursue? Tai Mo replies calmly. No need to worry. Once I've set my sights on it, it won't be able to escape. I already have a plan. Kalavika lowers her head. I'm sorry, Professor Tai, it was my negligence that caused the monster that you spent so many years cultivating and collecting to escape. Timo interrupts. I don't blame you. He is heavily injured, yet his face shows no sign of pain. He reaches his hand toward the corner of the room where the severed half of his body lies, motionless. Timo commands, come here. The larvae remaining on the remains obey, beginning to squirm incessantly. The first one breaks out, of its cocoon looking twisted and grotesque. Then the second, third, and fourth follow. More and more of them swarm toward him. The larvae quickly fuse into the missing part of Timo's body. Watching his body being regenerated, he speaks softly, This doesn't count as anything. We have already obtained intelligence regarding the monster from Extreme Abyss Island. Compared to that monster, the things I cultivated before are at best just test subjects. Hearing this, Kalavika hums coldly. Very quickly, Timo's body is fully restored. I'm done here. You can come in now, Kalavika asks confusedly, but Professor Tai, that brat also stole your research documents on the Extreme Abyss Island that you spent years searching for. Timo replies, let him take them. Those documents are like the scent of fish that can lure this brat in. He won't escape our sight, especially since Extreme Abyss Island is not a place that humans can easily reach by their own strength. At that same time, Lintu's voice, Itintam, sounds out in panic. Guilong! Guilong! Guilong, what's wrong? Seeing his companion monster lying motionless on the ground, he is so frantic he doesn't know what to do. Lintu quickly opens the system interface. Guilong, what's happening? The system is silent. Not a single notification appears. He grumbles, garbage system every time at the most critical moment. Turning to Ling Yu, Lintu desperately asks for help. President Su, please come and help me look at this. After the conversation ended, he just turned into this. Could it be something that guy Timo did? Ling Yu carefully observes and says, this situation with Guilong probably has nothing to do with Timo. This is a symptom of spiritual energy suffocation. Lin, too, is momentarily confused. He instinctively repeats, spiritual energy, suffocation. She nods. He was completely confused for a moment. He instinctively repeated, suffocating spiritual energy. She nodded, yes. Lam Tu slumped down, pouting, and nearly knelt before the Abyss Dragon. If it's come to this, there's only one way. Stop, give it mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Lin Ngok slapped her forehead in exasperation. Stop right there. I'm talking about spiritual energy suffocation, not literal suffocation. Spiritual energy suffocation happens when an awakened person uses a massive amount of their ability and consumes too much energy on the surface of the blue planet. If the spiritual energy isn't replenished in time, it causes symptoms like suffocation. This is because the spiritual energy on the blue planet is incredibly thin and unstable. It can't provide the necessary replenishment, and the pressure on beasts is even greater than on awakened humans since their entire bodies are built from a fusion of flesh and spiritual energy. Even their basic physiological functions rely on it. That's why the Abyss Dragon's roar earlier was basically a death wish. It's like doing strenuous exercise while suffering from altitude sickness. Lam Tu stood up embarrassed. I had no idea about any of that. Watching the Abyss, Dragon Lin Ngok assessed the situation. It seemed like the creature couldn't sense spiritual energy at all. She frowned in thought, then reached a conclusion. Then the dragon must have known exactly what it was doing. It was intentional. Lam Tu was stunned. It knew, and it still did it, the Abyss Dragon. It was really that reckless. Lin Ngok reassured him. Don't worry too much. Fortunately, the situation isn't too dire yet. She pulled out a small bottle. It's a good thing I have this medicine here. It suppresses the excitement of the spiritual meridian system inside the body and helps the spiritual energy to retract and condense. You can give this to the Abyss Dragon and see how it goes. He took it and she poured it into this dragon's mouth. Thank you. Ever since yesterday, she had been helping him constantly, and Lam too felt conflicted inside. Still can't sense any spiritual energy. Does that mean I haven't awakened my power yet? What kind of ability did this kid end up with? Suddenly, a large eye appeared outside the window, timidly peering inside. It was the evil eye. After verifying, it had slipped inside without hesitation. Lin Ngok saw it and beamed.
The female evil eye is back.
She took the data drive from it. Look, a USB. We've successfully gotten the data on the Polar Abyss Island. We hit the jackpot this time. The two evil eyes hugged each other. Even though they couldn't speak, their actions showed how affectionate they were. Lam Tu counted them over and over, then hesitated as he confirmed, I only have these two. Remembering how they were chased by the Kalavika, he asked suspiciously, did the other two meet with an accident? Lin Ngok didn't answer. Her attention was entirely on the data drive. This time we could say we hit a massive jackpot. Lam Tu took it. Like that. What kind of victory is this? We just stole something while they weren't looking and ran away. Plus we suffered heavy losses. As he spoke, he dropped the USB. It hit the ground and shattered. A harsh grating sound filled the air. Lin Ngok was shocked. Lam Tu, what are you doing? That was information we worked so hard to get. Don't you want to uncover the truth behind your father's disappearance? Lam Tu's expression darkened. This success was just pure luck. That guy won't die that easily. As someone who interacts with beasts, I can guarantee he will show up again. Who knows if this USB is just the first part of a trap he set? He stared at his own palm and said bluntly, if it weren't for today's situation, but a direct confrontation or something even more dangerous, we wouldn't have had a chance. I can't put my beasts in danger. They really have entrusted their lives to me, and are willing to sacrifice everything to complete the mission, so I have a duty to protect them well. Lam Tu gently stroked the Abyss Dragon. As for this data, when I'm strong enough I can gather it myself. Lin Ngok was stunned. What kind of stimulus did this kid get last night? Yesterday afternoon he was still the type to just talk tough when bullied. As she rummaged through her bag, she told herself, maybe he is actually worth having some expectations for now. Lin Ngok called out, hey. When Lam Tu turned back, she held out a piece of paper. He took it, but before he could read it properly, his eyes widened. Have you become so narcissistic that you're handing out posters of yourself everywhere? She didn't take it to heart and explained kindly. This is a recruitment poster for the member qualification exam for the Grand Arts Association. It lists all the criteria clearly. Are you willing to fight alongside us in the mysterious realms? Lin Ngok suggested seriously. Think about it. Go take the Grand Arts Association's qualification exam, no matter what plans you have for the future. You won't be able to avoid the mysterious realms, so getting a badge will be very convenient. The exam for this quarter is next month. There's still enough time to prepare. What do you think? Lam Tu pondered. A badge? Bay from the Grand Arts Association was certainly tempting, but unfortunately, he wasn't an awakened person yet. Suddenly his collar was grabbed. The Abyss Dragon frowned at him. I've decided for him. Lam Tu was startled and shouted, wait, Abyss Dragon, don't just decide on your own. It looked at him with disdain. Ever since earlier, you've been afraid of this and that. What are you afraid of? If anyone gets in my way, I'll swallow them. He struggled. It's not that simple. Also, it looks like you're emitting smoke. The Abyss. Dragon rarely panicked. Opened its eyes wide, confused. What's going on? Lam Tu was worried. The smoke is getting thicker. Hurry and lie down to rest. Chairman to Abyss Dragon, what's wrong now? Lin Ngok explained. This is the medicine taking effect. The spiritual energy inside the Abyss Dragon's body is contracting and condensing. Seeing the Abyss Dragon's body shrinking, Lam Tu panicked. To the medicine you gave me is the Apex 4008. There's 169 2 months later at noon in the scorching heat. Lam Tu's scream could have woken up the whole building because he was so worried he couldn't stop talking. Today, here are the results for the first subject of the Grand Arts Association qualification exam. I'm dying of stress. Just then, Lam Tu remembered something. Speaking of which, the Abyss Dragon hasn't received a phone call about the results yet, has it? But seeing it refuse to answer, Lam Tu got annoyed. Hey, Abyss Dragon, I'm talking to you. What's wrong with you? Inside, he thought. Talking like that. This morning, the Abyss Dragon finally turned, but not to answer. Instead, it suggested, let me borrow your phone. I need to look up some information. Lam 2 was suspicious. Look up information inside Lam. Atu kept questioning. It's been 2 months already. Could it be that he still hasn't given up on the polar abyss island? As the abyss dragon searched it, muttered, "So that's how it is. Then there is only one way." Seeing its serious expression, Lam 2 grew curious. What on earth has this little guy, the abyss dragon? Found out the abyss dragon was still focused on competing with them, but as he got closer he saw there was no information at all, which made Lam 2 explode. "Big brother, are you kidding me? Then there's only one way." Seeing that serious expression, Lam 2 grew curious. What exactly had this kid Kui Long discovered? Meanwhile, Kui Long was still focused on fighting them. But when Lam 2 got closer, he realized there was no documentation at all, which made him furious. "Big brother, it's not you. Even though you were playing a game a second later, you were completely hooked." But right now, seeing Ghost Dragon lose Lam 2's side in utter frustration. As expected, it's a one-shot defeat. The moment Ghost Dragon let his guard down in his anger, this is already the 26th loss. Lam 2 was fuming and shouted, "I can't believe you've been obsessed with this game all morning." When he saw it breathing fire at the console, Lam 2 could only hold his head and scream, "If you can't win, don't take your frustration out on my phone." But Ghost Dragon just gave a thumbs up and started boasting, "This was to show you the true power of the explosive earth breath. I'm using a combat simulation to refine my actual combat techniques for the explosive earth breath." That just made him even angrier. "Refining my foot. You're just being a poser." Finally, Lam 2 couldn't take it anymore and lunged to grab it. "What are you acting so cool for? Give me back my phone right now." Just as things were heating up, rapid footsteps echoed in the hallway. She kicked the room door wide open and barked, "Lam 2, you little brat!" Picking on poor little Ghost Dragon for no reason. Lam 2, completely helpless, could only ask, "Mom, can't you knock before coming into my room?" Hearing that, she curled her lip in disdain. "Knock as if I came here to see you." She placed a massive platter of skewers in front of Ghost Dragon. "Don't pay attention to that jerk. Here, I grilled these just for you." This scene left Lam 2 feeling incredibly resentful. "Mom, this is so unfair. Your son hasn't had anything to eat since this morning, you know." But she didn't even care about her own son. "Unfair. Didn't you say Ghost Dragon is in a growth phase and needs to eat well?" She still had a shred of conscience left, though. "Fine, just take 2 skewers and a slice of bread to hold you over until lunch." Having gone through this too many times, Lam 2 was suspicious. "Lunch. What are we eating?" she replied nonchalantly. "Just some leftovers from last night. I'll put them in the oven for a bit." Lam 2, nibbling on his bread as miserably as some kind of TikToker, asked, "Why? Does he get to eat meat while your own son only gets a slice of bread and leftovers?" She didn't miss a beat and retorted immediately, "Why don't you tell me why Ghost Dragon lies there learning while you only know how to lie around on your bed?" At this point, Lam 2 reached his breaking point. He was just obsessed with the game, okay? But Ghost Dragon was faster. It acted so well that she bought it completely. "Look at that. You're lazy yourself, and yet you still put others down." Lam 2 was shocked. "What the hell? Since when is your synchronization rate with her this high?" But reflecting on it, he was moved to tears. He had initially worried his mom wouldn't accept Ghost Dragon, never expecting that he'd be the one getting the short end of the stick. Seeing his face, she shut it down hard. "Stop the sob story. Tell me, how did you do on your exams this time?" "Any results yet?" Lam 2 replied. "They haven't announced them yet. They said they would this morning, but it's already past 10, and I haven't received a call." But unexpectedly, this made his mother furious. Every word felt like a stab to Lam 2's heart. "Look at you. You suddenly said you wanted to take those exams and I supported you, our family's financial situation. You don't know signing you up for that drained our entire savings. That was the money I had set aside for your future to buy a house and get married if you don't pass. Just prepare to be lonely for the rest of your life." At that exact moment, there was a frantic knocking at the door, making all 3 freeze. They wondered who it was, and it turned out to be Lin Ngok. She kicked the door open. "Lam 2, are you home? The results for the first subject are out. I've been calling you all morning and you didn't pick up, so I had to come here to tell you." Seeing this, Lam 2 knew immediately who the culprit was. "What is going on?" Don't tell me you turned off my phone. Just by looking at Ghost Dragon's feigned composure, he knew for sure it was that guy. Lam Tu then recalled what Ghost Dragon had claimed earlier. Didn't you say to let you handle things so I could focus on the exam? Back then I really fell for it. I thought I could trust you and I was even moved, but now I just want to beat Ghost Dragon up. You are a total liar. That made his mom rush to intervene. There's a guest here and you dare act like that. You've got some nerve, brat. Then the door slammed shut again, leaving Lin Ngok to wonder if she should even be there. Right after dealing with the two of them, she raised her voice. Can't you even handle a small matter? You two. But a second later, her attitude changed faster than the price of gold as she opened the door. Isn't this to Lin Ngok every time we have a parent-teacher meeting? I see you giving speeches up there. Facing this scene, Lin Ngok was a bit intimidated. She wiped the sweat from her hands. Auntie, you're home too. You're not at the skewer shop today. She smiled brightly and replied, Isn't today the day the results come out? Once they sat down at the table, she quickly brought up the registration for this kid. I've bet years of savings on this. I actually wanted to hear how the kid did. Lin Ngok understood that worry and reassured her. Auntie Lam Tu did quite well. He passed the first subject. With the top score, hearing that, his mother gave Lam Tu a hard, affectionate smack. That's my son, top of the class. Is that so? But she quickly realized something was off. He'll definitely join, right?
Seeing you guys don't look very happy.
At this moment, Lin Ngok's tone became much more serious. The first subject is just a written exam testing basic knowledge of mystic realms and beasts. The real difficulty lies in the next two subjects. She explained in detail. The second subject tests physical fitness. The pass rate is less than 10% every year. The third subject is an actual combat test, and the content changes every year. Usually everyone gets wiped out. His mother listened intently, holding her breath, waiting for what she would say next. Seeing her uneasy expression, Lam Tu reassured her, Mom, don't worry, your son will definitely pass. His eyes were filled with determination. Even though I haven't awakened any abilities, I have my own skills, besides this time. It's not an ability, but I have other skills of my own. Besides, this time, unlike the awakening ritual, I'll make sure everything is fully prepared. Hearing this, Lin Ngok felt somewhat at ease, and Kui Long was extremely supportive right away.
That's when you finally get to the main point, Auntie. I actually came here today for this exact reason.
Lin Ngok said seriously, hoping her aunt would allow Lam Tu to stay at her place for a month of intensive training before the exam. This left everyone speechless. Chairman To, isn't this too sudden? Still, you have to pack your things right. Pack what my son doesn't have anything. At least have a meal before you go. Once Lam Tu and Kui Long had left, she sighed. Children grow up, and you can't keep them. Before her was a table full of delicious dishes that he loved. She had wanted to give the boy a surprise.
Congratulations,
she thought, but now she had to eat alone, though she said that she was actually very happy. No wonder the kid suddenly said he wanted to join the association exam. So that was it. To think he was killing two birds with one stone. Impressive. At the same time, Lam Tu followed her, feeling bewildered. Chairman, to where is this? Didn't you say it was your house? In front of a skyscraper, Lin Ngok said calmly. That's right, this is my home. Wait, he couldn't help but be suspicious. Could her father be the legendary genius to the world-renowned beast doctor? Kui Long was extremely excited. A beast doctor? Actually, that towering, intimidating building is the To Genius Beast Research Center. Lam Tu couldn't help but ask, Your house is in the research center? Lin Ngok quickly clarified. No, to be precise, the entrance is inside a secret realm. It's in the basement parking lot of the research center. This made him curse out of pure shock. It's actually inside a secret realm. While Lin Ngok spoke as if it were obvious. My father usually conducts beast research like behavioral observation and physiological and biochemical studies, so being in a secret realm is quite convenient. But the more he heard, the paler Lam Tu got. This wasn't a matter of convenience. Then she remembered something. You don't know. Can a secret realm be privately owned? Lin Ngok explained everything she knew. Nations around the Saur world follow the principle if it's unclaimed, whoever occupies it first gets it. In the Great Flower Country, the task of exploring and developing secret realms is the responsibility of the Grand Art Association. Therefore, the association Holds all rights and usage privileges for most secret realms in the country. She added, but maintaining too many requires massive human and material resources. And so the Grand Art Association has rented out some stable, safe secret realms. For example, the A86 secret realm you visited was rented out by the Countermeasure Bureau to provide training for those in the blood condensation realm. Renters only need to be members of the Grand Art Association. As they stepped inside, Lin Ngok summarized so. All. If you pass the Grand Art Association's exam, you'll be eligible to rent a secret realm. This made Lam Tu's eyes widen as he asked again, my own secret realm. In his mind, he quickly imagined the wonderful scenario he could let the little dragon, the dogs, and Big Eye out to live happily together. Lam Tu couldn't hide his yearning. This was the treatment a beast lord should have. At that moment, Lam Tu had a question. Doesn't it feel strange having to go through an office building every time you go home? Lin Ngok replied, not at all. Actually, there's another direct exit. A while later, she led him to a room. We're just conveniently stopping by to pick up a friend. Lin Ngok pointed to it. After 2 months of treatment, its eyes have fully recovered. You can take it now. As soon as he saw it, Lam Tu froze. This is... Then it opened its sparkling eyes to look at him. Seeing this, Lam Tu couldn't hide his joy. Mama Big Eye, you're alive. But as he got closer to observe, he muttered, no, you're not Mama Big Eye. You're Big Eye Junior #1, right? After asking and receiving a nod of confirmation, he asked, are number 2 and 3 here too? Lin Ngok was confused. How could you tell them apart? Lam Tu asked curiously. Chairman, to what's going on? Why did Big Eye Junior #1 turn into Mama Big Eye? She explained, it's hard for you having named each one of them, but they have actually merged together. This is a complete life form. Then Lin Ngok started her lecture. The so-called male form is essentially just a predatory organ that can detach and act independently. But when the female form suffers severe damage, the male form can transform into a new female form. This is a complete evil eye. Hearing this, Lam Tu realized, so that's how it is. No wonder that time he touched the chin of a male form he had tamed the whole evil eye. Lin Ngok just smiled apologetically. Sorry for making you sad for nothing, but the way you had swore to protect the beasts was pretty handsome. Lam Tu was helpless. Big sister, were you watching the whole time? But he didn't pry further. He set his things down. Regardless, at least they were reunited. Just then someone called and Lin Ngok said, wait here, I need to take this call. While Lam Tu was left alone, a voice exclaimed from behind, a little dragon so cute. Hearing this, he turned to see who it was. Thien Ki stepped in with bright eyes. Are you an awakener? Why do you have so many cute beasts around you, so cool? Seeing Thien Ki, Lam Tu was suspicious. Where did this kid come from? The girl quickly approached, still chirping, rare opportunity, can we shake hands? Lam Tu thought she meant shaking hands with him, so he answered, enthusiastically, go ahead, whatever you like. But Thien Ki said, thanks, big brother, I've never shaken hands with a beast before this time, and I won't wash my hands. Lam Tu's mood went up and then down. He felt silly for getting happy. She wasn't shaking hands with him. On this side, Quilong also reached out his hand, but his eyes were wary. As the two hands touched, it seemed like a normal handshake, but Quilong immediately showed a shocked expression when he realized something. Seeing Quilong's struggling look, Lam Tu asked, what's wrong? Meanwhile, its arm couldn't move. The hand couldn't be pulled back. Seeing this, he was suspicious. Is this some kind of superpower? But Thien Ki replied calmly, you give me too much credit. Just a little trick. The girl explained gently, this is called the 8 Extremes Fist, a type of martial art specialized in borrowing force to strike with force. At the same time, her hand, is this some kind of ability? What is it? But Thien Ki replied calmly, you overestimate me. It's just a little trick. The girl explained lightly, this is called Bajikwan, a martial art that specializes in using the opponent's force against them. At the same time, her hand, the grip tightened, making Guilong unable to budge. The more strength the boy used, the more pressure its body had to endure. It even had to grit its teeth in shock. Too heavy. Meanwhile, Tian Qi's sharp gaze didn't seem ready to let up just yet. Guilong's pupils dilated as it watched the girl perform a move. With just a light touch, Tian Qi easily sent it flying. Then the girl calmly explained, "How does it feel being thrown around by your own power?" This scene left Lin Tu stunned. Even though Guilong had taken Su Lingyu's medicine and wasn't as heavy as before, it was still incredibly strong. How could it be thrown aside so easily? But the moment it stood up, Guilong intended to rush in again. Trying to pull a fast one and beat me. Seeing this, Tian Qi remained nonchalant. "I'm not that naive." Then she explained it was because the boy and his partner were standing too close, creating an opening for her to slip in. But immediately after Tian Qi pulled a small bomb from her backpack, she slammed it into the ground, filling the area with thick smoke while Guilong hadn't been able to do anything. In the dense smog, it seemed unable to do anything but roar. But this time, the target Tian Qi was aiming for wasn't Guilong, but the boy himself. In the blink of an eye, her sharp blade was just a fraction of an inch from Lin Tu's throat when he realized he was under surprise attack at such incredible speed. He could only spit out 2 words, "Damn it." Just then, Tian Qi spoke up. "Many awakeners love using flashy moves to intimidate their opponents, just to show off to the world, just to make the opponent feel a life-threatening danger. A fruit knife is more than enough. There's no need to put on a show as if the more chaotic the better." Her voice remained icy calm. "When someone feels their life is at stake, they instinctively grasp at straws to save themselves. Hand it over." At that moment, Lin Tu couldn't help but ask who she really was. But Tian Qi kept that terrifyingly calm attitude. "Don't worry. If I really wanted to kill you, I've had 4 chances since you walked through that door." Only when Lin Tu handed over the item in his hand did Tian Qi lower her weapon. "That's it, that's a good boy." She twirled it in her hand and evaluated it in a low voice. "The ability to boost strength in the blink of an eye that Sister Su specifically mentioned. It's based on this, right?" "Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm the coach Sister Su hired to be in charge of this special training." "For you. My name is Fang Tianqi. Sister." "She's only 7 years older than me. What's with the acting young routine?" Just then Lingyu finished her call and turned aback. "It seems I don't need to introduce you two anymore." When she introduced them, Tian Qi put on a super punchable face. "Lin Tu, this is the sparring partner I specifically found to prepare you for this exam." Besides that, Lingyu added that she had taken the Arts Academy licensing exam 10 times in a row, so she was very experienced. But the girl still wasn't satisfied with that. "What kind of introduction is that? It's like I've failed 10 times in a row." As soon as Lin Tu suspiciously asked, "Isn't that the case?" Tian Qi went almost ballistic. "Of course not. What I'm doing is honing my practical combat experience. Practice makes perfect." Immediately after, she pointed at Lin Tu and asked, "Sister Su, is this the dark horse you have such high expectations for? This guy is totally useless regardless of his reaction time or combat experience." Suddenly, Guilong, standing to the side, couldn't help but roar in dissatisfaction. Seeing this, Tian Qi even acted extremely provocative. "Hey, little monster looking for a rematch, you think I'm scared?" And right after that, like a sad play, Tian Qi performed both roles herself. "Your big monster brother wants to eat people, do you even care? Look, you're scared, aren't you?" This left Lin Tu helpless. "Sister Su, the sparring partner you found is completely unreliable." Witnessing this, Lingyu's expression darkened. "You two, that's enough!" Without hesitation, she smacked Lin Tu. "What are you sistering? You're getting infected by her nonsense. Fang Tianqi, be serious. I didn't bring you here to slack off." But even after being scolded, the girl still wasn't afraid and said, "It's because this guy is too weak. I really have no interest in him." Standing beside her, he refused to yield. "I should be the one saying that I don't want someone who's failed the exam 10 times as my sparring partner." Lingyu was totally exasperated. "You two..." Immediately after, she spoke up. "Since it's like this, let's make a bet." She had already calculated things in her mind. Luckily, she was prepared. Lingyu had come up with a plan. "Fang Tianqi,
You can make Lin Tu admit defeat and beg for mercy. She took out a bag of sparkling gemstones to persuade her. All of these monster beast cores. Beast, I will be yours. Just waiting for that Tianqi's eyes lit up like car headlights. I want them. Looking back at the gems, the girl thought, Sister Su, you're betting too generously on this kid. Meanwhile, Lin Tu was a bit hesitant. This seems to be... Before he could finish his sentence, Ling Yu immediately cut him off. No. To shear the sheep, you have to use the sheep's own wool. This is the piece you brought back from Secret Realm A86 earlier. Even so, Lin Tu was still highly skeptical. But monster beast cores shattered. Yes, into such small pieces are they worth anything. Hearing that, Tianqi immediately retorted, You're not confusing monster beast cores with diamonds, are you? The bigger it is, the more valuable it is? As if afraid he still didn't understand, Tianqi carefully explained. In the Nirvana era, monster beast cores are like coal or oil used for many types of industrial machinery and weapons, so their value is only related to their purity, not their size. At this point, Lin Tu couldn't help but ask Sister Su, so you smashed these monster beast cores. Because you knew this, Ling Yu replied casually. Things gifted to me I'll deal with however I want. After that, she put her hands on her hips and said, But if you can't make him, admit defeat, you'll have to design a detailed special training program for him. But at this moment, Tianqi pointed at Guilong suspiciously. Is this guy participating too? If I surrender, I'll have to design a detailed special training program for you. But at that moment, Tianqi pointed at Guilong suspiciously. Is this guy participating too? Lin Ngok quickly explained that Guilong wasn't participating, so she only needed to get Lam Tu to forfeit. But this made the girl couldn't help but mock, Sis, do you really have to pamper him, don't you? How on earth did you come up with such a condition, forfeit? As long as he stays stubborn and refuses to quit, I don't dare do anything to him. Then Tianqi made another suggestion. How about this? This is his enhancement prop, and it just so happens to be in my hands. No matter what method he uses, as long as he can take it back. Fine, consider that a win for him. Hearing this, even Lam Tu had to nod in admiration. Just a moment ago, Guilong had been tossed aside by this little girl and given her speed and strength. He certainly had no way of getting close to her now. But on the contrary, Guilong still wouldn't give up yelling, Fight me! However, he was immediately blocked by Lin Ngok. No way, you can't. You can't get on the stage. She didn't hesitate to analyze the situation. With your build and presence, even just appearing at the tournament hall would cause a commotion, so regardless of who else is participating, you are not allowed to participate. Hearing that, Lam Tu's eyes lit up as if he had just had a revelation. Regardless of who is participating, I'm not allowed to participate. It seemed like there was a hidden meaning behind those words. That's right, even if Guilong can't participate, I still have other little friends in my bag. Over here, Tianqi kept on being competitive. Does this kid always worry like this? Lin Ngok confirmed, True. That's his unique way of thinking and communicating. Not wanting to waste a single second, Lam Tu took off his coat and got into a fighting stance. All right, let's do it your way. Who's afraid of who? But Tianqi even raised her voice to lecture him. Hey, kid, do you think I'm some knife-wielding kidnapper? Why are you using women's self-defense techniques? To deal with you, I don't need a knife. The girl quickly tucked the knife away into her pocket. The very next second, both of them lunged forward, neither willing to back down. Throwing both his coat and his bag forward, Lam Tu shouted, Take this! But to Tianqi, this was nothing but a distraction. The girl quickly caught the coat before it landed on her. But that wasn't all. His bag was also flying toward her at high speed. Just as she caught it, the girl showed her disdain. Lam Tu, haven't you thought this through yet? This simple parabolic trajectory? No matter how many times you throw it, it's nothing difficult for me. However, right in front of her was only a blank space, which left Tianqi extremely bewildered. That's not right, he's not there. At the same time, something was moving inside the bag Lam Tu had thrown. Seeing the dogs rush out, Tianqi panicked. Damn it! There were dogs hidden in the bag, but the girl quickly swiped them away. Trying to pull a fast one on me? This kid actually has some ideas, but I'll try to hold back. Only 3 dogs. That seems a bit disrespectful to me. Let me give you a taste of this. Over here, Lam Tu laughed triumphantly, having achieved his goal. Actually, I'm right here in your bag. This is the moment I've been waiting for.
But Thian Ki couldn't believe what she was seeing.
Damn it, is this a bag or Doraemon's magic pocket?
Lam Tu lunged to grab the item from Thian Ki's hand. This is the moment I've been waiting for, hand over the projector. No! The girl screamed in a panic, absolutely refusing. How the heck did you stuff yourself into such a small bag? In a moment of distraction, Thian Ki's grip loosened. Lam Tu took the chance and grabbed it. And got it. Then Thian Ki quickly tried to snatch it back. You brat, how dare you trick me! The girl lunged forward without any hesitation. Thian Ki grabbed Lam Tu by the collar but sensed something was off. Lam Tu's body suddenly glowed, preparing to transform. The burst of light blinded the girl. Lam Tu's limbs shifted into a combat state, pouncing and pinning Thian Ki to the ground.
What the hell? How did you stuff yourself into such a small bag?
In a moment of distraction, Thian Ki's grip loosened. Lam Tu seized the opportunity and snatched the item. Got it. Then Thian Ki quickly snatched it back. You jerk! How dare you mess with me! The girl lunged forward without hesitation. Thian Ki grabbed Lam Tu by the collar, but she sensed something was wrong. Lam Tu's body suddenly glowed, preparing to transform. The flash of light blinded her. Lam Tu's limbs shifted into a combat state, and he pounced, pinning Thian Ki to the ground.